Yespixel, episode 31 with our guest, LukeDimond.
How's it going?
Today's sponsor is going to be read to you by traumz. Traumz?
Guys, I'm the sponsor guy today. I did it. I've really hit heights that I never thought that I'd be able to achieve before. And with that, these new heights that I have hit comes this sponsor. We are very pleased to announce that we are partnering with mysterious benefactors from across the world who are funding this podcast and putting lots of money so that we can spin their rhetoric. It will be loosely sprinkled across this whole podcast, and you won't even know that it's there. But we are going to help you determine what you should think, because that's what mysterious benefactors do. And back to you, Hydra.
Kumquat.
That was great.
Yeah, that's great. So thank you, mysterious benefactors. We really appreciate you. Thanks for not killing our families.
That was really nice, actually. That was in the agreement.
Yeah, really nice. Really.
We had to work hard to get that written in there for some reason, but
yeah.
it's in there now.
For 50, that's why 52's not here, by the way. We had to sacrifice somebody, so
put somebody on the chopping block.
We picked the person that talks the least. So they wanted to say that talks the most, but I didn't want to die. So
yeah.
Luke, how's it going, man?
It's going, man.
Welcome.
Good
to the
morning.
Podcast. Appreciate you. Real quick, why don't we start off with just if some people don't know who you are, they will once you have the trophy. I know you always carry the trophy around in game.
I do. I don't. Obviously, I don't have a trophy in real life, but I mean, I have trophies. They're just different. I know. I know. Why didn't they just send me one in real life?
One of your golden records and hold it up and pretend it's the Nopixel trophy, real quick.
We could just put it on a chair, like next to it or something.
Yeah, let's do it.
I have to go rip it off the wall.
I'll
grab one. Screw it.
This guy's going over for a rip.
He's going for a rip.
He's going for a rip. Nice.
You think we could drink that beer before he gets back? Do you think he'd notice?
The $22 beer that he's having, the breakfast beer?
I don't think he'd notice,
Move
honestly.
this chair here.
Dude, his room is so big. This is a nice room.
There we go. Do I have a hat for it?
A lot of instruments.
I need
in
a hat
there.
for it or
Oh
something.
yeah, hat would be good.
What the hell?
He's getting his silver. I guess we're not good enough for the gold record. We'll take is that platinum or silver?
That's platinum.
Oh, okay. Better than gold. Got it.
Yeah. So that's for $1 million sold, whereas gold is like 500,000.
Nice.
But it changes no matter where you are.
I didn't even know OnlyFans gave awards like this. That's incredible.
Dude, honestly, the feet industry is booming right now.
What am I missing? It's a character trait, by the way. The feet thing. It's not a me thing, but tell me more about this.
But you're interested, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about your character, and then tell us about sort of how your character and you are similar.
Right. Okay. So my character is Jaxon Creed on Nopixel. I'm with the Wu-Chang crowd. I'm an A&R there, but also my character is goes through these crazy music phases where I try to always do something that I'm not super comfortable with out of character creatively as far as music goes. And when I first joined the city, I just got overwhelming support with the music stuff. So I was like, you know what? I might actually stick with this, because I made a one-off song, not even trying to sign to Wu-Chang, and then I just got forced to sign to Wu-Chang. And then it's just been kind of it kind of gave me a really good place to warm up to RP, because I was fairly new to it at the time when I joined Nopixel, and being surrounded by other role players that are also have the same interests as me creatively was really cool. So yeah, I don't know how much deeper I should dive on the surface, but yeah, Jaxon Creed.
Yeah. So music stuff, and then so something in your life allows you to be quite good at making music in game. What is that?
Honestly, I've been a musician since high school. I never really did it super seriously until I went to college for music. I was out in LA doing recording school and stuff like that. And then I signed to a publisher when I was in LA, and I started doing TV and film music, for those crappy MTV shows, reality shows, stuff like that, just to get a start. And I realized I was like, I could actually do this for a job. And because of that, I have a really weird, obsessive personality where if I see potential in something, I obsess about it to the point where it's probably unhealthy. And so for a few years time, I was sitting down and just only working on music. You couldn't get me to leave my house. If I was leaving the house, it was to go to the studio and things like that. And with that even said, I've been a gamer my whole life. There was a few years where I didn't even really play games because I would rather make music. And then once I came to role play, where I was like, oh, they kind of intersect. I could do this.
Mm-hmm.
I could do both. It kind of allowed me to give attention to both industries, which was really, really cool. So, yeah, it's just a lot of practice and a lot of bad songs, but a lot of consistently bad songs, but then the occasional one where I'm like, yeah, let's roll with this one.
I mean, that's anything though, right? You make you
Right.
make 30 bad things to make one good thing.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's really important for
You think
like
I'm just
any
out here
creative
sending
industry.
the first nude that I take? No, we got to get different angles, different lighting,
Yeah.
different levels of hardness. You know, the turgidity.
Yep, 100%.
That's the Bob Ross method, because he always said that he would, when he was painting, he would say, I could spend 30 minutes on this painting and it's going to come out fine. And then I could spend another 30 minutes or an hour or 2 hours polishing this painting and adding fine little details and making it the best painting I've ever seen. Or I could stop here after 30 minutes and spend 30 minutes making another painting. And that new painting might come out 10 times better than this one.
Yep.
Right. And he was always business minded too. So he's like, and plus I could sell this painting and sell that one. So it's like twice as much money right away.
Yeah. Yeah, same goes for feet pics for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, do I
Different
want whipped
angles,
cream or
whatnot.
mayonnaise today? You know, you gotta.
Yeah.
And then suddenly sour cream.
Ooh,
Yeah, there we go.
Bestseller.
guys accidentally stepped on a cake. Sorry.
Oops.
That would I would actually I would probably watch if there was like a Pornhub or OnlyFans or something where somebody like made these like long drawn out scenarios where they're like, I'm just going to the store. I've stepped in a cake. Oh no! If only someone could come lick this cake off my feet.
But it's also like a parody, but it's also a fetish video. Like
Yeah,
they just
exactly,
like,
yeah.
show close up like the cake squeezing between their toes and shit.
The ultra zoom with like the artificial sound
No.
effects of
Squelching.
Yeah.
The comment section of that would be an emotional roller coaster.
oh man, that's so funny. Hey, listen, listen, people, you could get on this. Anybody with feet can get on this. Sorry, people without feet. It's bad luck.
Yeah. Terrible luck.
Oh man. So how long have you been in Nopixel?
It's been about, I want to say it was May of 2021, so almost 2 years.
Man, time flies, huh?
It does. It's actually kind of scary. Like I just turned 30 and I'm like, which is not old, but like I think
You're
about
so old actually. You're
yeah,
super
I'm
old.
actually yeah.
So old.
I actually shouldn't even have a career anymore. I should just retire.
How do you even see, old man?
Right. But yeah, no, time has definitely flown, and you know, there's been times where I've taken little short breaks and stuff like that, and that makes it, you know, seem like it has gone faster. But yeah, 2 years, man, it's crazy.
What can happen? Nopixel 2 especially, you look back and you're like, what happened? You're like, how am I here? Like, so much happens every single day in Nopixel that sometimes looking at like the grand picture is like hard.
Right.
Because we, like traumz and me, when I'm playing comp and like traumz, you know this, even when you're playing a crim that you really like, or even a civ, you can spend 14 hours a day in the server and not want to be done. You're like, you're like, I have to drive tomorrow. If I don't go to sleep, I might die.
Yeah.
So you get off the server and all you're thinking about is you're dreaming about Nopixel. You're on there, dude. There's never been a game or a server I think as pervasive as like Nopixel can be.
No.
I hate to say it, but that's also where some of the problems come from, because that's
sure.
where people get like massive FOMO, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all start as viewers of this. Like nobody's like, ooh, Nopixel, I'm just gonna apply out of nowhere, right? We all started as a viewer. We want to see what our streamer's up to. We get on the server, then we do our thing, and then we, you know, make friends, and then suddenly, you know, you don't want to get off because you just want to keep your stories going or just stay on the server for whatever reason. And then you start getting FOMO, right? Which I think is why a lot of streamers have like a very healthy mentality of when they are done with Nopixel, they're just done. Like they maybe watch a couple clips or they'll check out the Reddit.
The ego checks, I call them ego checks. You know, you go see if anybody talked about you or.
Yep.
I used to do that. I don't do that as often anymore. I'll have like, maybe if I have like a really good interaction, I'll be like, oh man, I wonder if they thought it was like as good as I thought it was.
I
and
think
then just kind of check what they thought.
I think in like your position, traumz, because you're kind of like, I would call you like pro successful Nopixel streamer, right? I think you're at the point where like you could keep this going, right? You could, if you put almost no extra work in, you could just keep this going and keep like a healthy amount of like income coming from Twitch just on Nopixel. But I think the reason that you do better and you don't just do that is because you have got like that drive. to like do more and be more and not just like lock yourself into like one thing or one position.
Right.
But I think when you've gotten to the position that you're in and you're not just okay being there, that's when you stop like going to look at the clips and stuff, because you don't need to anymore. Now you're so focused on like, how do I do better? How do I get more? That the ego of like, do they like me isn't there. Instead it's like, do I like me? Right? Yep. Am I happy where I am right now?
Yeah.
And I think you probably got one of the better work ethics on in the Nopixel community, dude. You're the way that you push yourself, the way that you like drive. I think it's really impressive, and I think you do a really good job going like, I'm done for the day, and I'm not letting Nopixel in my brain anymore. I'm gonna go spend time with my girly, right?
Yeah,
I think that's super healthy.
I think that's important, because that's how I think we've all seen it, like especially over the last year or so. There have been a lot of people who have. I mean, we talked about it on the podcast actually not too long ago about like Nopixel addiction.
Mm-hmm.
People who have like unhealthy addictions to just being on. And this isn't saying anything bad about Nopixel. It's not Nopixel that's doing this. It's literally they've created something that is so fun and so engaging and so interactive, and it's a constant show that is progressing 24 hours a day with thousands of different people and perspectives, and it's hard to pull yourself away because you just want to see everything. You want to know everything that's going on, right?
Yep. It's like it's an entire.
I think that's actually why like the Reddit is so successful, because it's like this collection of stuff that's happened, right? It's where everyone can share like, oh, here's a little clip from something that happened, or and it's just like Nopixel oriented.
It's like waking up and reading the newspaper. It's like, okay, I got off at 10 p.m. last night. It's now 8 a.m. I'm going to drink my coffee and look at the Reddit page because I wonder what I missed.
Right.
I'm at the point where I kind of, somewhere along the way, I stopped like thinking of Nopixel as like an entertainment thing. And it's just like the thing that I do.
Mm.
And so like my homepage used to be the subreddit, because I would see all the clips, and now I'm like, I'm just not, sometimes I'll just go and I'll scan it. Anybody banned? All right, no drama. Okay, let's go next. Yeah.
Yep.
But so let's circle back to you, Luke. Jaxon Creed is a hilarious character.
Thank you.
Often when I meet music people in Nopixel, that's two kind of general archetypes that they fall in. One is I'm a hard MF, like straight up G that makes hard ass music, or like music is my entire personality.
Right.
Right. And that's neither of those are bad. It's nice to have archetypes like that. But when you meet somebody like Jaxon, who is a goddamn, like, he's like a rainbow unicorn in the world of the Nopixel music. Dude, it's so fun. I'm surprised that you haven't made a track with the Littleman yet, because that feels so like on key.
Oh man, it hasn't happened yet. But that was honestly one thing. I think like people in my chat have actually said that before. Like, yeah, you got to do. I think Tim Littleman, which is you, right? Traumz. Yeah,
that's me.
My God, was you.
Yeah, dude, I'm a big fan. By the way, I'm a big fan. Yeah.
This guy's got a platinum record. Holy fuck. Holy shit.
But no, it's cool that you say that, because with Jaxon specifically, like, I didn't come to Nopixel. I actually had little to no knowledge of anything Nopixel music, and it's come a long way since I've joined Nopixel even 2 years ago. Now it's like much more prominent to be a musician and things like that. But I actually started because content creation has been something that I've been doing for a while, and it's always been disconnected. Like, there was a time where like my music brand and my gaming brand were like, I had separated them, which was very dumb. Like, different names on Twitch, all this stuff. And I was like, okay, I have to do content and I have to live and breathe it fully. And then I have to do music on the side and live and breathe it fully. So when this intersected, I had a kind of like an identity crisis where I was like, I'm going in to be a content creator, and the music stuff just kind of happened. So my character and my decision and even my application to get into Nopixel said nothing about music. It was all like just going in there, and I'm going to be a happy, just like a happy character. And I'm very loud, and I'm like naturally outgoing and loud. So it actually works out really well. Our characters did really well together. But Yeah, no. So it became really easy for me to just come in and just be social. It was definitely like a little scary. And I think that just being that character has actually helped me accustom myself with a lot more role players and be able to actually progress and meet people. Because when I'm low energy, if I'm low energy, I wouldn't get in Nopixel because I would have a much harder time connecting with people. And I don't want to say that people like kind of curve people that are low energy, but they kind of do. If you're walking up and having an interaction with them and you're not offering them something they can bounce off of. Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? I had a really hard time with that. So when Jaxon's in the city, he's always just trying to be really outgoing, and some people don't like it, but you know, I've gotten pretty lucky for the most part.
Yeah, dude. When you met my character John Hydra, right when I was in a weird spot, like I just like done this whole arc where he'd been in a coma for a long time, and so he's coming back, and like all like the past 3 months of his life don't exist. There's all these people coming up to him that he doesn't know who are like, "Oh, Hydra, this is the interaction," and he's like, "I don't know any of this, and I'm very uncomfortable. Like, can you please give me some space?" So to meet your character, and then who was the cop that
it was Brooklyn Baker.
Yeah. To run into you guys that I've never had like any interaction with and just have this like totally genuine first time interaction. Dude, it was so fun. I had a laughing fit that night.
Dude.
For people that don't know, I have Tourette syndrome, and sometimes I'll get into these laughing fits where it just goes on and on. And I've actually passed out multiple times on the server from laughing so much. And it's like instant. I'm like in my chair and I'm like, and then I'm like, I think I just passed out.
Yep.
It's so embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing. It's funny, dude.
It's funny, and the way that it intersected with the role play that was happening was like the most. And forgive me, it was the most opportune timing. Like that clip of the dude yelling through the wall.
Oh my god, the LGX. Yeah,
I was fucking dying. Can I swear? I can swear.
Of course, right? Yeah.
All right, it's legal where I'm from. So.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Then it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for traumz, I don't know if you saw this, but while I was role playing with Luke and Baker,
it's like in your apartment, right?
It was in Baker's apartment. And through
I saw both sides.
Did you? Yeah, through the wall, we heard fucking LGX, and they're having like the most serious role play I've ever seen the LGX have. Like, there's this deep emotion. There's this really hard tension. You can tell they both want to say something, but neither of them are willing to broach it first because once the dam opens, they're not going to be able to stop it. And then you just hear John Hydra just being a loud jackass through the wall. He's like, can you shut up in there? I'm trying to sleep. It's 3 a.m. And I'm like, Brash, is that you? He's like, yeah, man. They're like, hey, it's John Hydra. What are you doing? He's like, hi, John. I'm trying to sleep. It's very late. Like, you should come over. It was just so fucking funny. And because it was Bryce, the first time I ever passed out on the server, I was on Stanky Leg, and it was with Bryce Miller. It was with the LGX. That dude just like, he hits my funny bone somehow. And and so for him to like make me start laughing, that made me laugh even more. And the more mad he got, the funnier it got. And then the more concerned everyone around me was. They were like, are you okay, dude? Are you like having a Joker moment? Like, what is happening?
It does. Yeah, that's what it sounds.
Yep. No, it was great. EMS got involved in everything. It was so good, man.
Yeah,
it was so good.
It's very funny, dude. It's very funny. I think
it was good.
I've done it once as the Little Man, and once as Stanky Leg, and once as John Hydra. I got the hat trick.
Yeah, there we go.
I can't do it as Pyro. I'll die. I'll die if I do it as Pyro.
You will, yeah, because you'll stop breathing.
I play a character called Pyro, and it's like TF2 Pyro. And I wear a gas mask when I play him.
Oh no!
Wait, so you're actual Israeli gas mask?
That's correct. Wait, so you are actually wearing the gas mask while your character is wearing a gas mask?
Yeah,
that's some incredible dedication. I'd put like a sock over my mic or something. You know, I try to get the easy way, but
way smarter.
But
I turn the
I mean, that's
camera
way
and I make
cooler.
it just my face, basically. I wish there was like a really good face tracking app so I could move around and it would follow me. Probably is.
Great.
But yeah, just having having people come in and be like, "You're wearing a gas mask? That's crazy." I just
Yep.
I just like to try and like do good and like do like weird stuff that other people don't do and
This guy's a do-gooder.
risk my own life to get a laugh.
Yeah. Did you say he's a do-gooder? You're a do-gooder.
I'm a good
Like
doer,
that.
that's for sure.
Oh,
Right on.
Tell us about
right
your
on, dude.
right on, dude.
Right on,
Your,
dude.
your
Dude, people don't say shit like that anymore.
I know.
Gnarly.
I say right on
gnarly.
all the
Right
time. It's a
on?
curse.
Right
Yeah.
on.
my dad says right on.
I say right
actually.
on.
Oh no!
Yeah, he does.
Pop out the New Balances,
When's the
boys.
last
We're
time-
going in.
When's the last time you
New
heard somebody
Balance
say
as well.
tight?
Tight. Do you guys remember when people used to say "that's word"? That's word. Do you guys remember that?
Sorry.
That's word. No, I don't remember that
Listen.
one.
Oh man. Okay, maybe that was just like a California thing. I don't know.
Guys, come here for a sec. Okay. I'll tell you guys something. Okay.
What's up?
I was watching trash Netflix TV with my girlfriend
Yeah.
the other night,
Uh-huh.
and she didn't know what cap meant. So I had to explain cap to her.
God, dude. What's
Yeah.
she's like a double boomer.
I know. That's
Wait.
what?
Wait, how did you
hold on.
describe it?
Well, it's like cap is like a lie. It's like something that's not true, right? Like if you say it's no
That's
cap,
cap.
it'd be like
Yeah.
that's the
On
that's
God.
the truth. It's
For real on
no
John.
lie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not a lie.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, am I wrong on that? Like
I
might be wrong.
I think it's right, but I'm gonna hit Urban Dictionary really quick just to.
I'm pretty sure cap is like something that's like not the truth, or if you were to say like no cap, right? You'd be like that is the truth. Like I'm not lying to you. I'm not fibbing. I'm not telling like a.
All right.
What's
You
Urban
ready?
Dictionary? Yeah, I'm ready.
The word lying, but built different. That's what all it says. You want to hear the
I didn't even
example?
look it up.
You want to hear the example?
Yes.
Yo, that's cap. I didn't fuck the dog.
Okay. All right.
Those are the only two lines.
Let's move this
perfect.
on. Let's
I
move
mean,
this
Yeah,
on.
let's
Oh my
let's
God.
move it on.
Oh my god.
It sounds like
Haven't
something,
had the beer yet.
Brick
Oh
would
my
say.
God.
Yeah.
Guys, I
Oh,
don't
with that
know.
being said, it's time to open the beer.
Oh yeah. What beer are we
There you
drinking
go.
today? For those that don't know, Mr.
We're
Luke
not
Diamond
sponsored by the
does beer reviews on social media. You'll see them on such places as Twitter, Instagram, feedfinder.com.
And OF. So it's called Wake Up Worldwide Stout. It's like a coffee stout. Apparently it was really rare. I just like for a content idea, I just was like, hey, I'm gonna go in this place. Oh, and you feel like such a douchebag asking this, but I was like, what's the most expensive and rare beer you have in here? And they're like $20 a bottle, which is like for beer people, that's like someone's gonna be out there like, only $20. I have a craft beer closet with $50 beers. But anyways, I live in like the middle of the woods, New Hampshire, so it's what I could get. But yeah, it's like 16% alcohol, and it tastes like drinking a coffee. And I think it's for like morning palate, which is strange for alcohol, but you know, to each their own.
All right, give us a little. I know you've reviewed this one on social media already, but we haven't seen it. So give us a
Okay.
give us a little demo.
All right, you got it ready. Should I turn up my mic so you can hear the?
Well, let's sniff it. Let's get some notes first.
Oh yeah, you have to. Yeah, exactly. You have to waft it.
Mhm.
Yep, and then you obviously pinky out, and then you have to drink from the side, or else you don't get the full flavor profile.
Right,
so you
'cause
have
you gotta
to
pull some
and if
oxygen.
you have mustache hairs, you have to make sure that they sit inside the top, or else because you have to savor the
it's
flavor. You
seasonal.
know,
Right, and then you
Seasonal.
got you'll get a little for afterwards.
Yep. It literally tastes like somebody took coffee and then just put alcohol in it. That's it.
Right, so like a Bailey's coffee kind of thing.
Kinda, but it's like a little bit like maltier. So like
Oh, Irish
or like
coffee,
dark
that's good.
chocolate coffee. Yeah, like yeah, exactly. But no, it's good. It's a good way to, I guess, to get your buzz going on, because I mean, like one of those is, I mean, I like to think of myself as someone who can handle their shit, but I would not drink more than 2 of these ever.
So I challenge you here officially on the podcast. I challenge you to try the most expensive beer in the world,
Okay.
and it's called Antarctic Nail Ale. It is a Arctic Pale Ale. Part of the money goes to saving the whales. So buy your
that's
Antarctic
great.
Nail Ale to save whale. sorry, your pale nail ale to save whale. And it goes for $800.
Okay. I mean, that would make for some good content.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, $800, that's not bad. If it makes you know,
for a bottle?
Yeah, for a bottle.
What is
Yeah,
it
but
made
it's like
out of?
a
Gold? Does it have
500
gold
milliliter.
flakes in it?
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like a liquor
first
bottle.
It does.
and Take
Yeah.
the gold flakes out.
It's just got parts of whale in it.
It's made out of ambergris or whatever, the whale blubber.
Is it artificially more expensive because it's for the whales? Is it like I want the most expensive but also the best? You know what I'm saying? If it's $800 but it's like a third tier beer, we don't want that. You know,
I don't know if you guys have ever watched Cold Ones. Do you guys know there's two Australian guys?
Yeah.
It's like
the only episode I've seen
so
is
They
the one
called
where
it cold ones. I love
it's called
that.
Cold Ones. It is
That's good.
the only episode I saw is where Ludwig showed his testicle and they didn't edit it
okay.
out.
Yeah, exactly that one. So they do like expensive tests, and like for wine and stuff, I can't tell the difference. I've had really expensive wine, and then you can give me like the Target like $7 bottle. I cannot tell the difference.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm always like really skeptical about like buying something really expensive and trying it, because it's like this whiskey just tastes like any other whiskey, or this wine tastes like any other wine. But beer, it's it's a little bit more, I feel like, complex. But I don't know, $800, that's pretty steep. Like,
what
what
about
if it
this
sucks?
one? This one's The End of History, a blonde Belgian ale infused with nettles from the Scottish Highlands and fresh juniper berries. Each bottle comes with its own certificate and is presented in a striking package created by a very talented taxidermist. And all the animals used were roadkill.
It's made
What?
out of roadkill.
Oh.
It comes in a roadkill bottle.
What is a roadkill bottle? Like a
I will show you.
skunk's stomach or something?
That's disgusting. Also, aren't nettles like really poisonous, or is that just
They're
like
actually
a
quite
RuneScape
medicinal.
thing?
They're quite medicinal, but they can also hurt a lot if you get them in your skin uncooked.
Oh,
I don't want
okay.
to drink that then. It's gonna be drinking nettles.
Uncooked nettles.
This is actually so funny.
So it's funny you should say that about like whiskey and wine too, because like we get a lot of good Canadian whiskeys, like Crown
Yeah.
or something like that. It's just good, cheap Canadian whiskey.
Right.
And I bought like a nice bottle. I think it was like 10-year Glenmorangie or whatever. a while
Yeah,
back.
that stuff's good. Yeah.
It was good, but I was like, this isn't that much better than
Yeah.
just Crown or Pike Creek or something like that.
Somebody needs to go on the pursuit of like, obviously, like the really big like actual reviewers. Like, and I could never sit down and watch this content forever, because I mean it's just boring if it's not like funny and it's super dry. But there's got to be someone out there that is on an actual quest for the real stuff, like the stuff that actually tastes good and actually tastes like yo.
So this is one of them. So this is one
What
of
the?
them. And here's the other.
Why are we? Oh my god! This is horrifying. This is terrible.
It's
Yeah,
No.
this is
Okay, for those of you at home who don't know what we're looking at, I'm going to describe it as in as best of a way that I possibly can. Whoever this is that makes this takes
a genius.
small rodents and wraps them around the bottles of the beer. And so the only thing that you can see is the tip of the bottle where you should be drinking out of. So you're essentially French kissing a squirrel as you drink your beer.
Yeah, I don't think. Imagine the view of looking into this squirrel's eyes. Like, there's
Right.
a reason why you're pouring it into the glass.
It
I think
actually
as a rite of
literally nose to
passage.
nose.
I think
Why
as
is
a rite
there
of passage, I should, when I die, because I'm a beer reviewer, I actually want to be made into a beer bottle.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's so good.
This guy clearly knows his target audience too, because look right next to the glass that he's
The-
pouring
the
is just like a
cigarettes.
bunch of half-smoking
Cigarettes.
cigarettes. I'm pretty sure one of those is a joint.
If you look in the back, you can
One
see
doesn't
like
even have
the,
a
It is,
sort of
yeah.
smoke stains on the walls.
Yep. Yeah, move that picture frame, buddy. Let's see what the color is behind
Yeah. Oh,
it. Nasty. Love
That's
that.
funny.
that's something else, man.
Interesting.
Thought you'd enjoy that. But that's
Nope, I
only
definitely did.
$765 for a 4-pack.
For creativity, that one wins the cake over the whale
Dude,
blubber.
if that would
report.
pop off on TikTok so hard.
It
You
would.
You
Oh,
get
yeah.
animal lovers hating you. You would
Yep.
get hunters loving you. You get beer people on both sides. You
Yep.
get people who aren't in any of this going like, what the fuck?
Yep.
This
Yep.
is the move, man. And you could write it off at the end of the year. So.
I'm inspired. Well, the thing is, I got to make that money. How do you make money on beer reviews? This is just a passion project
AdSense, baby.
for me right now.
AdSense.
That's true. Yeah.
You gotta start getting creative with it. The new TikTok algorithm is to just do something that somebody would normally do, but do it in an incredibly unique way.
And then for instance, 3 times a day, every day for the rest of your life.
Just recently, I saw like, I don't even know how to describe her, but she was like heavily made up, like box braids and like heavy makeup, long fingernails, like just like done up to the T's. She was wearing big platform boots, like she was looking good, but she had to replace the axle on her car, and so she was just looking that good. But she's under her car and she's just replacing the axle, and she's like going through it.
That's so good, yeah.
I
Honestly,
love that.
Did it for me.
Yep. No, that's great.
What I'm saying. You just gotta.
If you can replace your axle without breaking like a long nail.
Yeah. Dude, she was like laying under it. Her braids are literally down her back, and like she's laying on them, and her big latex boots and everything. I'm like,
oh, okay. Latex boots. Yeah, that's
like
definitely the attire.
Well, you don't want to get oil, so.
Right. We just went so far down a rabbit hole.
So circling back to Nopixel, what with your music and Nopixel.
That's what this podcast is about.
Yeah, right.
That's right. Oh man, forgot.
Listen, the podcast is about us and the guest, okay? And we use role play as a medium to get the hard hitting truth, like Axel Jones or Axel Bones. Who did Kyle play? Axel Bones, Alex Bones. It was funny. All the people in the courthouse were wearing lizard masks. It was great.
Oh, okay. It's Scientology. Oh, should I not say that?
Say what?
The word Scientology.
Why wouldn't you say Scientology?
Isn't that one of like the YouTube like terms that like they like AI scan? I'm gonna put on my lizard mask and tinfoil hat now.
I don't know, man. Say Scientology. I don't care. Say it.
Yeah, it's legal where I'm from.
Oh, perfect. Okay, yeah, there we go. Good. That's the important bit.
I actually used to, when I worked in LA, I like literally worked right next to like the biggest Scientology place.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of Scientology recruiters in Seattle.
Yeah,
they'll like try and get you.
Yeah. Garrick actually,
Garrick is a Scientologist.
No, we were watching. Garrick was like, "Oh, there's a huge Scientology building across from my college campus," and then he posted a picture of it for whatever reason. And then he's like, "Yeah, they give out like free lunches if you just go watch their seminars.
If you go let them brainwash you."
Yeah, but in turn, you have to be locked behind a gate.
Come on, let's be nice.
Yeah.
To Scientologists, why?
Let's be nice to Scientologists.
No, they're a religion, and I'm not being nice to anybody's religion. I'm not doing it.
That's really insensitive of you. Hydra, please.
Underscore.
The feelings and opinions of John Hydra do not affect
music, Nopixel.
Yep.
What song you won? Best Nopixel musical artist, or which one?
Yep. It was a best rock song.
Best rock song. And what song did you do to win?
Well, the song is called "Why Won't My Girlfriend Scream Into My Ass." Yeah. It's always so hard to explain at surface value, but so Giles is another role player that does music, and he's super talented. He's from the UK. We like met and instantly like it was like you and I, like our characters meshed really well together.
But this guy had like talent.
Yeah, like you're talented too. You're talented too. Okay, we talked about this. But we were like we have like the same like sort of musical background, and it showed in our music. Like for me, like I would like my upbringing was metal and stuff, and then I started working in pop, and that's where like I kind of have been living since. But he's got like kind of the same thing going on, so I was like, okay, like I like this guy. And he was like, yeah, I think either him or I mentioned like we should collaborate on something. And I was like, yeah. I was like, what type of song do you want to write? And he was like, I don't know. You have any ideas? And I said, let's talk about not getting shamed for asking your girlfriend to scream into your ass. Like, it's not a sex thing. It's just, you know.
It's not a sex thing, obviously.
It's not a sex thing, obviously. Yeah. And then I produced an instrumental, recorded the instruments here in this room, and then he wrote some awesome lyrics and then left a verse open for me. And like he did most of the lyrical writing on it, and he killed it. Like it was so good, man. And it was just like a song that nobody really understood because it really doesn't make any sense at all. But it just became funny for us to be like, yeah, we were just like, if people are liking a song and they're actively listening to these lyrics about your girlfriend being mad because you texted her asking like, hey, when you get home, please, can you just scream into my ass? Like, I'll be waiting for you to scream into my ass when you get home.
So is that a, I know this is probably a dumb question. Is that a euphemism for like eating ass, or is it a literal?
No, I think it's literally screaming into asses. So this is, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. That's literally the motion for it.
Baby, when I get home, I want you to cup your hands around these booty cheeks. And I want you to scream like a yodeler who's trying to send out the warning cry to the town that the avalanches are coming. And I want you to inflate my lower intestines like a balloon, like a clown with a balloon animal at a kid's party. I want you to inflate me. I want to look like my stomach's distended. I want to look like I'm having your baby. Is that what it's about?
That's exactly it. I see the that traumz is agreeing with all this too.
Oh yeah, traumz. If you're audio only, traumz is in vehement agreement. He's turgid.
Yeah, he's nodding his head yes right now.
Yep, see?
Yeah.
Oh, he's really. I think he's struck speechless. He's. Anyway, so I actually haven't heard that song. Do you have the ability to give us a little demo?
I think I would have to send you the link. Is that okay? Because I think if I play it through my mic, it's like all like terrible sounding.
What if you just did a screen share and just shared?
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Media that way. Let our listeners have a little jam. Maybe they're driving to work right now. Hey listener, hey listen, hi listener. It's Hydra.
Hey, yeah, let me screen share.
I just want to say this. Good morning or good afternoon. If you're driving to or from work, I just want you to know that we appreciate you, and listening to this podcast is really fulfilling for us. So thank you. Thank you. You're beautiful. No, yeah, you. Yeah. No, stop it. No, you. Stop it. Okay. Music time.
Perfect.
This is great. It's like clip art.
Oh, this is perfect.
Oh, yeah, it's
actually
great.
Looks like an album cover, honestly.
Yep.
Everything is looking like it's fine.
Oh, you got Green Day to do this.
Oh, yeah, basically. That was kind of the inspiration. Well, actually, with Simple Plan was the inspiration. I'll play like up until the first chorus.
You might think I'm crazy, and honey, you're not the only one. A hole in my soul, so much space to be used up.
Talk about the intestines there. Intestines.
Text and she just sent back, what the fuck? It's Monday morning and I'm running late for class. Why won't my fucking girlfriend come and scream into my ass? I'd give her everything and show her so much love.
So he did like all of these lyrics. Like he was just like, he's a hard worker, man. This is what he left me here, and I was like, I was for it.
Everything's fine, that's a lie. The girl that I love the most won't scream by me in my brown eyes.
Also, I invented the word scream pie, which I really like.
Nice. Nice. Scream pie. You heard it here first, folks.
But yeah, that's pretty much the vibe of it.
Right on. You know what's crazy is how much that sounds like music. And that's a weird thing to say, but like sometimes when you listen to stuff from like, not,
that really sounded like it was a musical thing.
Listen, if you listen to like any DMCA free music,
like hearing music.
Go listen to any DMCA free song that isn't by fucking P Money, and it sounds like ass. It sounds it's barely music. It's like I can see. It's like when you were baking a cake, but you forgot like the flour or something.
Yeah.
You're like, well, it's cake-like. There's a lot of the stuff for cake here, but it's just not quite cake.
Yeah, there's a huge market for that.
I get that like early 2000s feel from that, like like Not Another Teen Movie or something like that.
Yeah, so that's literally exactly what we were going for. So the inspiration for that was like Good Charlotte and Simple Plan, like your typical like teenage angst, like early 2000. I just happened to have my teenage angst in the early 2000s. But yeah, no, it was.
What's the album that Girls Don't Like Cars, or Girls and Boys? What
Uh,
album is that?
is the album called Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous?
Yeah, that's it. That
Yeah.
when you started playing this, I had like a flashback to the 2000s of listening to that with my girlfriend. Like when I snuck into her house at night, we were like listening to that, making out. Like that's like what that took me back to.
Young and the Hopeless is what it's called.
Oh, Young and the Hopeless. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely a huge inspiration for that stuff. Obviously, like it would never fly nowadays, but like neither would a song about talking about scream pies and spreading your cheeks for a good scream, you know?
Yeah.
So.
I think now's a good time. We can tell people. During our role play, you said you were writing a country song, and I was like, I'm country. And so you ended up sending me the root of some of the song that you were working on, and I wrote a bunch of lyrics, and I'm gonna send it over to you pretty soon and let you kind of master it, and then hopefully it'll be a fun little thing on Nopixel.
Oh, it definitely will be.
Music. I really love the idea of making actual good country music.
Yeah.
But finding somebody who understands like how to make country music is quite hard. I only know like what sounds good. I don't know how to make good music. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I can sing country style okay, and I can write funny and good lyrics. But finding somebody who can like get the twang of the music and like know when to like sneak a mandolin in there to get that certain sound.
Yeah.
You know, that's
no,
hard.
it definitely like for me, like my only rule with Jaxon was like, okay, like there's a lot of music in Nopixel where it's just like there are people that come in, and I'm not knocking them because their music is great, but they come in already with like 5 songs that they've released as an artist before Nopixel, and then they come in and they just adapt the songs.
Yeah.
Which I don't inherently see a problem with, but my rule creatively was like, this has to be a challenge for me. Like I'm obviously sitting on so many songs over the however many years that I could just bring it in Nopixel and say, yeah, this is a Jaxon Creed song, right? But for me, I was like, you know what? I need to challenge myself. I need to work in a genre that I don't quite understand yet. And country was one of those. Like I obviously like grew up around it, but it was like not cool to like country when I was in high school because you know I was like,
everybody, you know, I like everything but country and rap.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
literally
okay.
that. So that was kind of like the motivation behind it. And I was like, you know what? Like I don't have a country voice. Like my singing voice is not country at all. But lucky for me, like the country music, like culture is now shifting towards pop now. Like pretty much every country song on the radio is like pop. Like
yeah, I heard a song. It was like actually a country song recently. I'll try to find it later. I can't remember what it was, but I listened to it and I was like, I looked it up. I was like, whoa, this actually sounds like an 80s like country song. Like there's no voice effects. There's no, there's no poppy swing beat. It's like actual country music. Holy fuck. I don't even think I heard a mandolin.
Yeah. No. So that was exactly. And for me, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try and add these instruments, and everything's digital now. Like I don't even have a mandolin, but I recorded mandolin.
You can make one, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's just cool. And then for collaboration, it's just like, it's a gold mine because like going into a genre you don't quite understand with maybe somebody else who has equal, like not understanding of the writing process of country music, because it's such a tight niche. Like if you're outside of Nashville, it's like an insanely hard thing to adapt to. But doing it with somebody else and just diving right in is so fun, man. And that's why when we were doing that thing where like we were singing popular country songs from like the late 90s and early 2000s, but we were like doing it in a way where like, because like the copyright is like you get like 6 seconds, so we were like singing like 4 seconds and being like
oh yeah, you and I did that too, didn't we? We were doing that.
We did, yeah. So but yeah, I was like, yeah, no, this is the guy that needs to be on this song. This is what's gonna bring it home 100%.
Yeah.
And then traumz is gonna be on the next one.
Ooh. Oh yeah.
Honestly,
yeah, because I know you're like Taylor Swift, so
dude, I love T Swifty.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of
T Swifty guy,
traumz and the Little Men. So for people that don't know, on the server, there was like another round of like lowering people's prio, and so now there's a system where you can send in clips to sort of like try to like apply for better prio, and so I think it's going to be like a shoe-in for people like your traumz and Miles Away, and you guys just send in a couple of your Little Men clips, a couple of your funny cop clips, and I think it's like you're a shoo-in, right?
That was through Uber Hacksaw Nova though. That was like 2 years ago. Because we'd interacted with James so many times.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if he reached out to us or we reached out to him, but he's like, send me like clips of your guys' role play. So I think that's kind of what they're doing now.
Yeah.
Is they're gonna do like a review system.
I hope they make a team. I hope they make a like an app team for Prio.
Just like a trusted like review team that is just like, yeah, like that's genuinely good role play.
And I hope it's a team that can like give feedback to. They're like, hey, these are really good clips. These are really funny, but they're all kind of the same thing. Can you show us you not interacting with the same like 3 group of people all of the time? Can you show us like you breaking off and like doing something a little different? And then that will like inspire people to, instead of them going like, I didn't get it, I hate myself. They can go, oh, now I have like a goal to go on the server and be like a better role player, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Coil, I know you're a big fan of the show. Listen, you know, Prio team, we'll do it for you. Okay.
There we go. Yeah. No, I think it's important for somebody with an outside perspective.
I'd love to be on a team. I wouldn't want to be the only person on it, but I'd love to be on like a team of people doing it.
I'm too nice of a guy. Everyone would just end up with Prio. Yeah, sure, bring him in. Why not?
It's good. It's good. Yep. It's good that you're honest. I mean, that's. I wish more people could be that way because people are like, I could be impartial. I'm like, could you?
No, I couldn't. Yeah, I like people too much.
You'd also kind of want to be like a Navy SEAL because then people would like actively like seek you out in role play. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That was like one of the main rumors, and like I'm not sure how true it was, but one of the first things somebody told me when I joined Nopixel was that apparently Coil used to go around and like spawn frogs at people's feet. I don't know if this is even true, just to see what they would do, and they would watch it. And I think that if there is some sort of like review team, and I think it should be like a hands-on and hands-off thing where like, yeah, they can like submit stuff, but a better way of doing it is to actually like be role playing with them. And I know that's like the secret, like that was how it was before. It's like you role played with the right person, you made Coil laugh or you made somebody else laugh, like you might get a Prio boost, right? And you won't even know about it.
I already know exactly what I would do if a frog spawned in front of me on Stanky Leg. I would absolutely try to hold the frog up and somehow role playing by myself with the frog end up like getting knocked out.
Yep.
It's Stanky for you.
Oh, traumz! I made it. I have like a rule set for the next Littleman that I make.
Yeah.
He's got an instruction manual.
I love that. Is it for you or for other people? Because either way, it'd be really funny.
It's for other people to interact with him.
Here's my manual. Read up, and I'll see you in 5 minutes.
It's gonna be pretty fun. It's gonna be pretty fun. Miles is gonna hate it.
Yep.
It's gonna be random.
No, that's great.
I think Miles getting frustrated when people won't follow the plan on Littleman.
Dude, I do the same thing.
It's funny.
Dude, it's literally just trying. You have 6 people, all of which who are chaos harbingers, and they all want to just do their own thing. And all of them are suffering from the fact that they can't sit still for more than 3 seconds. And you're like, all right, guys, we're gonna steal golf carts and bring them to a bank. Okay, here, I just need everybody to get a lockpick, steal a golf cart. We're gonna bring them over. It's gonna take like 10 minutes. We're gonna have like 20 golf carts, enough for us and for the cops. So we're gonna have this cool chase. It's gonna be so much fun. Then they're off beating each other up and they're running around in circles. It's like dealing with children, man. Trust me, I know exactly how he feels. I've lost my mind trying to fucking corral Littlemans.
I've only met the Littlemans. I don't even know who it was at the time, like a few times, but both times they were like riding around, like landed at Uwu with a helicopter, or no, landed at Burger Shot with a helicopter, and a couple of them came and begged for their jobs back, which I thought was really funny.
Do you know how many times we lost our Burger Shot job? It's insane.
I think you've lost your jobs more than you've gained your jobs.
Wait.
Wait.
You're fired again. That's 2 fires per 1 hire.
It feels like it. That's what it feels like.
I recently got in and I just made another character just like mess around, and it's just clearly like a conflict character recently, and my main thing was it was super annoying and people didn't like it, so I kind of like stayed back from it. But I was doing like I was seeing how like I could get into restaurants and infiltrate them as like a health inspector. It's probably been done before. I've never seen it, but I'm sure it has.
Yeah, dude, that sounds very fun. And also people are weirdly protective of the restaurants. They are
100%.
They will literally shoot you in the face for like going in the back.
Oh, that's literally what happened. and then not only that, I got attempted murder charges on a cop.
What?
Like, so what happened was I was at Uwu, right? That's the place. That's the place where you go. Like, I went to a burger shot and like they all just beat me up and it was really funny. Like, it was just really funny.
You really want to piss someone off, go to Uwu.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I went to Uwu and because like as soon as I came into the city, like first time on this character, I was meeting people and they're like, yeah, it has roaches. And I was like, roaches, huh? So I like pulled out the clipboard and I was like, all right, here we go. This is what we're doing now. And I went there and I know the female officer was Peach. I don't know who the other person was. It was Cerberus Police. But he just passed out from like not eating outside of Uwu because we were just sitting there talking. And so I was like, screw it. So I drove away and I got arrested and charged with attempted murder when he passed out for not eating food. And I was like, okay, yeah, this character is like, this is going to be fun. I was like, I have no control of what happens. And that's what I need for this character. Cause like I had, some clear goals for Jaxon, but I was like, this character is just like, I need to not have a plan because like when this stuff is happening, like being able to just kind of go with the flow is like perfect. And no, it was really fun, man. The cops were so fun to RP with this guy. Like like I've never seen so many cops in a scenario for this. And I was just like, okay, like this is something I will not experience on Jaxon. But
that's great.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, the health inspector stuff. Yeah, people don't like that for some reason. Or maybe their characters don't like it. I shouldn't assume that it's that they don't like it.
People are just very protective of the restaurant.
Right.
Especially Uwu.
Yeah, because Ash is a gem. They're like,
yeah.
So my once in a blue moon character, Gord Ronson, Canadian legend,
what's going on there, bud?
Former college lacrosse star from the Alberta Infiltrators. He got himself a job at Uwu. Literally was biking down the street one day and some guy pulled him over and like was like, hey, you want a job at Uwu? And I was like, sure. I've had some of the strangest Uwu interactions.
100%.
It's always just tough. I don't know if I've told this on podcast, but I think it's just funny to talk about. So the first one is Gord. He's a tough guy, right? He's a meathead. He's like a little, classic Canadian jock, right? Like
Canadian Gary.
Yeah, he's Canadian Gary. He pounds him back, and he's a fucking good guy, bud. He fucking will throw him down if he needs to.
He's the one character from the spin-off of that show. He's
yeah, the one everyone talks about when they think of the guy with the Canadian accent. He's fucking right. I can't not fucking Trailer Park Boys.
Tug tit fucker.
Hey, can you call your mom? She owes me some money. Yeah, that I can't remember what it's called right now off the top of my head. I'm there and I'm working, and my character he's very tough, right? So when I think somebody said like, "Oh, what would you do if somebody like busted in, they got a gun in your face?" And I was like, "Oh, it's fucking easy, right? I leap over the counter, I perform some kind of like jujitsu I've never done before." All right. And I wrestle the gun out of his hands, throw him to the ground, pick up his gun, break it in half with my sheer strength, fucking throw the parts across the room, and I square up with him. I say, come on, bud, let's go outside right now. We'll settle this outside like men. Then the people I'm working with are like, no, Gord, listen, you can't do that. Yeah, I can. I fucking can. All right. I've done it before. I've wrestled guns out of people's hands. Well, we don't really have guns in Canada, but if they did have a gun, I would have done it. No, Gord, listen, you can't do that because you need to value your life. Well, I mean, leaving the guy with a gun doesn't seem like it's valuing my life, does it? No, Gord, you need to value your life. And they're repeating it over and over.
Yeah.
I don't think they realize that, like, this is me just playing a character.
Right. Yeah, I that's one thing that I use. I've played on, like, non-whitelisted servers before, too, and that stuff is so bad, dude. Where, like, it's like, it's like kind of breaking the third wall, but it's
Right.
only because they thoroughly believe that you're serious
Right.
and you're about to
"You're
like,
gonna-
you know,
You're gonna get banned if you do that.
they're gonna, dude, you're gonna get banned if you do that. Don't do that.
Yes,
Like-
yes.
I'll have
you
to
know?
call an admin.
I didn't want to sound like an asshole, but I was on my stream and I said to my stream, I was like, I don't think they recognize like me. Like
Right.
that it's like Tim Littleman, Moosebeard, like that I've been on the server. I know what I'm doing. It's like I don't
Right.
think they fully recognize that.
Yeah.
I think it was like a day or so later. It was like the next time I worked, a couple French guys came in and they had a gun and they pointed it at us, and I literally talked them down. Like,
Yeah.
literally, I was like, all right, there, bud. Listen, all right. I don't want to have to hop over this counter and fucking take that gun out of your hands, so I'm gonna need you to put that gun away. And he's like, oh, okay, all right.
Did you ever get to? This is at Burger Shot.
This is a
Ooh.
Oh, this is at Uwu. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
You said you got a job there. There's a guy at Burger Shot. I forget his name. That has a super heavy Canadian accent. His name begins also
Bringle
begins
Dingus, and he's
Bringle
not,
Dingus, bro.
he's
He
not
is so
Canadian.
funny, man. He's
like
not?
from Minnesota. He's from Minnesota. He's got
Okay,
a
so-
Minnesota accent. Little
that's
different
funny.
than being Canadian.
Yeah, yeah.
Barely.
Well, it's funny because in my like
Barely,
character
though.
story for Jaxon, I was like, I'm gonna pick a random weird spot in the Northeast, and I was like, screw it, I'll go super crazy. So his like story is from he's from Nova Scotia. So when I meet other Canadians, they're like, "You're not
Yes.
fucking Canadian," you know.
You're like,
But-
yeah, no, you're like, yes, I am. I'm Nova
Yeah.
Scotian.
That
Yeah, I'm
accent
Nova
is like
Scotian,
Nova
yeah.
Scotia, like East Coast Canadian. You know, we come from
Yeah.
a family of fishermen.
Yeah,
What's that?
that's exactly
Traumz,
it.
you probably know this. What's that fucking weird island in Canada where the time zone is like 30 minutes
Oh,
and like some
St.
hours?
John or whatever.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. No,
It's fucking weird. I call it hyperbolic time chamber island.
I think it's
I
St.
thought-
or is it Halifax or is it St. John's? What is it called? I know what it
it's
is.
Weird.
well, those are like provinces. I thought you were gonna say who's the guy, the Canadian guy from Nova Scotia who does the weather reports.
St.
Who's that?
Pierre.
I can't remember his name. Hold on. Nova Scotia screaming weather guy.
Wait a minute.
Frankie McDonald. Hey, it's me, Frankie McDonald, out here doing I'm doing the weather report from Whitney Pier, Sydney, Nova Scotia. Today it's gonna be kind of cloudy. He's just out there screaming.
That's great. That's so good.
Oh god, that's funny. Oh man.
Oh man, that's so good.
But yeah, no, the Uwu role play though, because I also had like an Uwu arc on Jaxon, was really good. Like, especially since it was a really cool opportunity for me to like, because I was still like sort of new to role play, so like hanging out with people who have been around forever, like Ash and stuff like that. Like we would do like the bondage. You guys, I don't know if you've heard of the bondage stuff.
Oh, I've heard of bondage already.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So we'll leave it at that. I'm not going to elaborate
Why do you think
anymore.
I
So
go
like,
to
if people
Traumz house
don't know what I'm
on
talking about,
Sundays? I know about bondage.
so we would do
Yes,
do
sir.
bondage. Like, you know, we would fly up to the top of Mount Chiliad in a helicopter that came out of nowhere, and you know, like go down on wheelchairs and like do weird stuff like that. And you know, bondage on top of a mountain and like stuff like that was like, those were the nights where like I would have FOMO if I got up.
Oh, dude,
Uh,
I just had a really
you
good
know.
idea. You just gave me
Say
a
it.
really good idea. We need to
Dude, I'm having a good idea right now, bro.
on the Littleman or someone. We need to do like Jackass. We need to like make people wheelchair down Chiliad and do other like have like a film guy and like that would
oh,
be
dude,
so
a YouTube
good.
series like that would be so good. Like actually so
We
good.
need a
Especially if you get the right people
Littleman that, like,
involved.
is like he's like, I'm trying to make it on TikTok.
Who is it? It's Chauncey, right? Chauncey's doing like the
Dude, the Mr.
stunt guy
Cheese.
stuff.
Dude,
Oh, the
you know what's
cheese stuff
crazy
is
about
so
him?
good too.
Okay, so yeah, he does Mr. So Chauncey and I actually go way back. Like I met him in like a shitty, like non-whitelisted server where no one actually RP'd, and I did my best to RP. I was pretty bad at it, but he is someone that like he was the guy to RP with in this server, and like not because he was a streamer, because he wasn't a streamer at the time. He was just such a fucking funny character. And then seeing him in Nopixel, like I didn't even know he was in Nopixel because I hadn't talked to him for like a year after we left this server.
Right.
And I'm outside of the apartments, Alt Street apartments, and I hear psst. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck is that? And there's like a Fudo like almost upside down on the side of the road, and the trunk just opens. He goes, "Hey, man." I'm like, "What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?" And then I leave and I go have like a Wu Chang meeting that lasts like an hour, and then I go do a fishing run with my friends because I didn't have any other job at that point. And then I come back to Alta Street Apartments, and I'm walking up the stairs. Psst, he's still in the same car fucking 2 hours later. Like his dedication to like those like situation RP scenarios is phenomenal. And I don't know if you saw the clip of him where he hid in this guy's trunk for 2 hours and was in the trunk while the dude popped out in Chiliad and did a meth cooking.
Dude, he pulls his table out like on a beach on the east side of the islands.
Yeah. Like, dude, it was like, I was like, dude, this is like golden content. I'm sure he's probably blowing up on TikTok because his like short form stuff is really good.
Oh,
but like his role play is so funny, man. Like he is a very underrated role player and streamer. Very underrated.
Yeah, I think when I come back to like, because I've been taking a small break from NoPixel. I've been dealing with some mental health stuff and some family stuff, and I'm trying to move my gym from my outside garage into like one of the bigger rooms in the house. But it's like a process because it's like my girlfriend's office, and we're transferring her to like here into this room that I'm in, and it's a bit smaller, so I've got some like guilt around like taking the bigger room, but like it's practical. And then we're moving the other girlfriend into like the guest bedroom, and we're taking like the bed out of there or something. Maybe get like a Murphy bed so we can still have guests over.
Right.
And but so then I can do like in like the summer, or I could just work out inside, like climate controlled, light controlled. There's like no insulation in the garage. If I go out right now, I'm like breathing ice. It's like so cold.
Yeah.
Like I go to grab I have to literally take like rice packs and warm them up and like put them on the bar. So that I can, like,
the bar
touch
is
it so
probably
it doesn't freeze to my hand.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm just trying to do a bunch of that because I'm trying to like make I want to start making like inspirational sort of like more real kind of short form workout stuff. I want to do like TikTok. I want to do like a whole YouTube channel. I'm just really excited about it. I'm really passionate about weightlifting and working out and sort of like motivating people to like find where they want to be in life and like helping them get there. That's always been a thing that I've loved, but I've never thought about like making it content because I've always been afraid that if I tried to make it content, I would stop liking it. But I think as long as I focus on like enjoying it first and then making content around that, it'll be really.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think like with fitness and lifestyle stuff, particularly, there's so much ingenuine content out there that it's like overwhelming. Like I do not dare look up workout videos because like me, like I built a gym in my house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use it, like when COVID was happening, I gained like 20 pounds. I was like 180, which I'm only 5'7", so I'm a small guy. And that for me was like, okay, like this is the most I've weighed in my life. So lost 20 pounds just walking on a treadmill and doing stuff, and then I just stopped. But dude, if there's convenience and like genuine motivation behind it, it's something that I could 100% stick to. So
honestly, we could collab. I would love to like use you as like an example of like taking somebody who like
a guinea pig,
if like fell out of love with like weightlifting and working out because it's like so exhausting to like skim through the internet for stuff. You get 10 different answers for 3 questions. It's like what's happening.
Yeah.
So the approach I'm going to be taking is like a very scientific approach to a lot of things and like a very like realistic approach. I want people, like this is the optimal way to do it. Now let's find a way somewhere in between optimal and like how you'll actually do it and find the middle ground where it's like optimal for you, right? Because it's only optimal if you'll actually do it, right?
Right. No, 100%. With that being said, circling back to RP, just because I have a genuine question, is there like a guide video for RP by like a really trusted RPer?
I've seen some. I've seen a couple. I think Jobless Garrett might have made something like that at some point.
Okay, yeah.
There's not like a go-to like this is the RP guide video, and I would also say that'd be really hard to make because like is there a guide video to improv anywhere?
Right.
Like I'm sure there are people talking about how to be better at it.
Right.
Now I think somebody could make like a guidebook to NoPixel. Be like, hi, welcome to your first day on NoPixel. Here are the keys you're going to want to familiarize yourself with. People will often refer to binded keys as muscles.
Yeah, like stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah, traumz is not about
I
this.
don't like it. No.
Wait.
I always try to like squeeze it in somewhere else. Like, you know, if it's like the E button or something, you know, it'd be
Just
like just
egress from the
ease
situation.
yourself into it, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
Q,
Yeah.
if it's something like that, I'll be like, it's not a question of when, you know, just like
Yeah.
emphasize like that specific letter or
What do you-
key or something.
What do you mean you
Oh, yeah,
can't reach
K.
in your
You're talking about
pockets?
K, yeah.
You can't reach in your pockets. It's okay to reach in your pockets.
Yeah, we teach a lot of cops as FTOs, and when it's Academy Day, we just say push F1. But when we're out of the server, I always go with like, don't worry, I believe in you. You can't F this one up. You cannot F this one up. I believe in you. And you get like a little radial F1 menu.
If you'd like to up your roleplay game, rather than referring to them in muscles, which can bring some people out of the roleplay, use tone and inflection.
Exactly.
Oh man, a corporate video. You should make a corporate video.
Dude, let's do
Like,
it. You give me the video, I'll do the voiceover for it.
Yeah, done.
Let's do it. That sounds awesome. But yeah, so
traumz is still not about it. We'll find a way to swindle you into doing this.
what I was gonna say
I
is
actually
when
like
I come
the
back to back to Nopixel, like more, I think I would love to find a way to maximize my short form content where I can take like little clips and like just throw them up without editing. Without
throw
much
up?
editing. Yeah, just vomit.
Yeah.
But also I don't want to be the guy who's running around just trying to get content on the server. That's exhausting. Nobody wants to be around that guy.
No, exactly. 100%.
But sometimes
it'll-
you're like,
it'll
you
just
see,
happen,
you see
yeah.
a ramp and you're on a motorcycle with a friend and you know your motorcycle's about to explode and you're like, do you
I
trust
got it.
me?
Yeah.
Do you trust me? They're like, no, I don't trust you. Why? Like,
Buckle up. I mean,
Hold
wait,
on.
motorcycle. Yeah.
you got your helmet? No, I don't have a helmet. Like, oh, well, I take mine. I've got two. You have two.
Yeah.
And then you
No,
drop
that's
it on the
great.
ground and drive off and the bike explodes. That's hilarious.
Yeah. No, I love stuff like that, but that's all like free form. Like, I feel like I haven't really been in a situation where like I've really encountered anybody who like was strictly using like situations for content and it was like heavily dictated by, you could tell. And that's really good because I've like, everybody talks about like main character syndrome. Like, I haven't met very many of those, weirdly enough. Like, I've actually had a really pleasant experience as far as that goes. And specifically with like the police force, I've had such a good time, man. Like, the amount of the only really big scenarios I've been in with cops have always been like really awesome ones. So I've been on other servers where like the cops are like not on the whitelisted stuff. It's just like not even fun. It's like whatever. But pretty much any role play I bring to the table, and there's always role play behind it. I always try to get out of it with some like weird explanation for everything, and it's always entertained. Like, it's so weird. No matter how weird it is, like, people will go for it. And I've just always had a really good scenario with the cops, and those are like a wide variety of like my short form content stuff is cop interaction, and that's why I'm so worried about.
Yeah,
like,
it's almost like the cops on the server are fucking vital and incredible at making fun content.
And so we
if you
we
get
probably
mad at them
shouldn't
every time
abuse
you
them.
get arrested, you're gonna stop getting content from them because they don't want to fucking be around you.
Yep. Oh yeah, 100%.
Hypothetically.
Yeah. Hypothetically, of course. Yeah. That's one of the reasons. And circling back to like the review system, I have not put in a review video or compilation of clips to get my prio back. Strictly because like I think my best content is like criminal to.
Hey, yo, where's 52
cop
Chain
facing.
Guy? Get this man in here.
I need him.
You need 52
I need him.
chains.
Somebody typed in general chat. Oh, it was you guys.
It-
Oh,
we
it's
just-
that guy. I know that Canadian guy.
Frankie, that's him.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
love
guy.
him, dude. Have you ever seen side note, I'm just gonna send it, bud guy
Of
who
course.
does like
Yeah,
stunts?
just gonna send it, but wasn't the
Yeah.
Carts of Darkness? Wasn't that in Canada?
The Cards of Dark.
You don't know about Carts of
I don't
Darkness?
think I've seen it.
It's a what are those like films that people make when it's like about a specific subject and then they like there's a lot of like talking about people and interviewing people.
Cards of Darkness.
What's it called?
Oh.
It's like what are the things people like to get high and watch like late at night?
Scooby Doo.
Oh, dude. I'm gonna scream. I wish I
Are we
knew
talking
words.
like a Clerks movie? Like,
No, like to be like about like this is Jeffrey the serial killer. We're going to follow Jeffrey throughout town and watch as he murders someone. And then they
Literally
interview,
planet Earth
It's like,
A
I can't,
snuff film?
I can't believe that guy was gonna kill me. And it's like, this is Michael Bigsby.
Like anything History Channel.
Oh my god, it's please. The comments are gonna be going crazy. Okay, it's a type of film that's like about a person, or it's like an interview style kind of, but they'll often have like multiple characters, like testimonials. Oh my god, why is this so hard, dude?
Oh, you mean like Space Ghost?
I'm gonna scream.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. I don't know what the genre of that is, but I'm gonna stick with traumz here. It's definitely a snuff film. It's like and in that moment she was stuck in the dryer and asked for assistance from, was it Step Bro?
Step Brother, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. You should narrate videos. You should do that, Hydra.
Me?
Yeah.
That's one thing.
You do all the characters, but you do all the different accents too.
Yeah, you do all the characters. Yeah.
I do several bad accents.
Oh, I thought he was gonna kill me. I did. He was coming right at me.
I love that.
Okay, it's nonfiction. All right, this type of movie is nonfiction.
Okay.
I don't know. Never mind. Well, okay, hold on. I'm gonna Google. What kind of movies do people like to get high and watch?
All right. Well, he works on that.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Typically, something that we ask people on this podcast is, we already talked a little bit about like your history, how you got like where you are. Application process for Nopixel. First of all, how did you find out about Nopixel? Like, what was your first like? Oh, that's cool. Like, was it before your first server or after? And then when you finally did apply to Nopixel, how many application attempts did it take you?
Okay, so I definitely did not know about Nopixel. Like, I was playing on a non-whitelisted server before I even knew Nopixel existed.
I kind of just like a defunct server now, or
yeah, it's pretty dead at this point. But it was called Insomnia.
Okay.
It used to have like 60 to 100 people at all times. Like there was an actual queue. Like it was actually pretty decent. Right. And there were good role players on there. And actually, all of those good role players are actually in Nopixel now.
That's how I played on Rivalry prior to Nopixel for like a good month and a half. And I actually just a couple days ago went and I looked at like the what is it, the
like Hasroot or whatever.
Yeah, the Hasroot. That's it. I looked at like the Hasroot character list, and I was like, dude, like half this list is like people I recognize and people who are on Nopixel now. Like No Illusions, who's one of my favorite role players. He's from there. Like,
he's great, man. Yeah,
it was really cool. Sorry, go on. Insomnia.
So I was on Insomnia, and I found out about Nopixel, and there's not really controversy behind this, but like when it blew up with like all of the non-RPers coming to, I think it was 2.0, like Tim the Tap Man. I think it was 2.0. It might even have been 1.0. I'm not even sure.
It was like early 2.0. It was like
early 2.0
era. Wait,
yeah,
Tim
so it was like
Nopixel?
He was.
Whoa.
He was.
So it was like Markiplier and like Felicia Day and like a ton of crazy people.
Yeah,
the only Felicia Day clip I ever saw was the one with Penta. I'm not going to talk about it anymore.
No. Can you send me this so I can watch it?
Yeah.
Right on. But yeah, I found out from it there, and just like probably most people, I was like, yeah, I'll never make it into there, because the immediate like conclusion that people come to when they see Nopixel and they see celebrities involved, they see celebrity content, not even content creators, but also like musicians, actors, wrestlers, boxers even, right, have all joined Nopixel. It's like, I can't get in here unless I have clout, so like for me, I was like, yeah, it's never gonna happen for me. And then once I realized, I was like, okay, like if you have a decent grasp of RP and you have like actual good intent with what your character can bring to the server, and you're good at, writing that into literature, I think that at that point, like you actually have a pretty good chance of getting into Nopixel, getting whitelisted. So a lot of people are scared to do it, and it actually makes it so they don't do it. But one day I was just like, you know what, dude, like Insomnia server had shut down, and I was like, okay, I need something else to do. And I applied. I got denied the first time, and then applied again the next day, and like
The next
8
day,
hours.
you were feeling it.
The next
You're
day,
like, I'm going
it took
back,
me
baby.
8 hours. 8 hours, and I was playing Dead by Daylight, and the person, yeah, I know, I had nothing else to play. I was like so stumped. I was like, I had come out of like the Fortnite and Call of Duty era, which is how I grew my Twitch channel
I
for the
think
most
the only
part.
community worse than the Dota and League community is Dead by Daylight community.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So luckily I only had to play it for like 2 streams. And then some Nopixel people came into my stream and were like, hey, check the Nopixel forums. And I was like, okay. And I checked and I was approved. And I was like, oh my God, this is
man,
amazing.
That's cool.
And I'll never forget, I got in for the first week. I could not get in because the queue was so long.
Classic.
Because it was one of the like
I finally
times
made
where
it
like
to Nopixel.
right. Yeah.
When was this? Was this 2.0 still?
No, it was 3.0. It must have been early
3.0,
3.0 because it was May. It was like May
Yes,
of
that would've been,
2021.
like 2 months into
Right.
3.0's launch.
So I did get in the first day, but I got in like the last 5 minutes of a storm.
Yeah.
Like I literally like got in queue, was like 60 in queue, and I was like, okay, I'll just let it go and see what happens. And then I got in and I didn't know what time the server resets were. So I was like, I'm in.
You're
Oh
like,
my God.
I'm doing it. I made
So,
it, Dad.
you know,
Oh,
I'm at
Vegas,
Alta
let me
and
turn
it's
the
just
stream on.
exactly. and I'm at Alta and it's just fucking chaos because it's 5 minutes before a storm. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I am so excited for this. Like, this is the best thing in the world. There are role players everywhere. And I was so excited, and then like the server reset, and I was like,
Oh, no.
damn. Like, and then I of
Hope
course didn't
stash.
get back in.
I'm pretty sure in 2.0 they actually like mid 2.0 they had something in the prio system that if you hadn't been on for a while, it would actually like,
you got in for the first few days. Yeah.
you'd be able to like get in for a bit.
Like a forgiveness system.
It wasn't
Yeah.
exactly
Rested
like the
bonus.
random prio thing. It was like it was
It
just
was
like,
like-
oh, we'll
yeah.
guarantee that you get on like once a week or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Then that seems right because I did get on a few times, and at the time I wasn't working during the day, so
Right,
like
well,
I
this
was like
is-
I had all the time in the world, you know.
This would have been 2.0. 3.0, I think they just had they had already established the random prio system where it was like you have
Yeah.
a 1 in like 6 chance or something to get
Like
like
just getting in. Yeah.
yeah, just like getting good prio for that day.
Yeah.
Which I think is how a lot of us, you know, helped like build our
Mm-hmm.
who we are now.
Or some
That
of
was,
us,
Yeah.
some
like
of
a
us,
savior.
some of us made a group of like 10 people that would all like try to master the art of the Q sniping.
You snipe yet? 23
Not a-
second,
not a
like the
thing.
210, 23.
23, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you have to be using the time.gov because it has the more accurate time. And then
Yep.
you have to already have your game launched. But the problem is if you already have your game launched, sometimes when you hit the go button, it won't go. So you have to have your
Right.
game closed, and you have to time on average how long it takes your game to open from hitting the connect button.
17 seconds. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
2.0 was so much worse because the server cap for a while was only 32 people.
Wow.
And then they started boosting it, and they were doing like trials and whatnot. I think one of the biggest things that held them back was like the VoIP in the game.
Yeah.
yeah,
because
because it wasn't
2.0
always
that-
mumble, right?
Right. It went from something that was in game, like an actual in game voice, to
TeamSpeak.
which was actually it's funny to talk about this because the devs have done so much amazing
It's
work. That I think
crazy.
it goes like you take it for granted at this point because it's just something that's there. But back in 2.0, the speak levels, like, you know, whisper, talking and shouting, essentially meant that you had a circle around you that when somebody entered that circle,
They could hear you
like even if
perfectly.
they took one step into it, they could hear you at full volume.
You
Oh,
got so many
okay.
good
Like-
clips from that.
Yeah, there was no like what is it, like aberration or whatever that
Right.
essentially like added like that like deafened
like an
your
audio
voice.
environment.
And that was like
yeah.
mostly
Yeah.
Nike's, right? He's like an audio guy, isn't he?
Yeah, the work that they've done just like implementing that system is amazing. It's so good. But 2.0 was like from that system it went to TeamSpeak, and you actually had to connect to TeamSpeak, and then TeamSpeak would use like Toco VoIP or something like that. That
It would like
connect to
move
the
you
server.
around based on where you were, right? Is that what it
Yeah,
was?
exactly. And
Yeah.
dude, I remember I was part of the tests for that, and it was like night and day because you drive past someone and you'd get that, whoa, you know, like that,
Yeah.
that like, you know, from like quiet to loud to quiet kind of sound, and it was just, it changed everything. And then now Nopixel uses like Mumble, which has the same kind of like range, audio range or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's so immersive, and people take it for granted, but it was never there in 2.0.
Right.
In 2.0, you'd have this thing where like people would be on top of a roof because there was no verticality. It was like an infinite up and down distance. You have somebody like, you know, that like murder spot that people will take to over Great Ocean. Like there's like that. It's like a car park over Great Ocean.
Oh,
Bay
yeah.
City Ave and,
yeah. Right over the Bay City incline. And so you would have people up there like discussing like how to kill somebody. You'd have cops driving under it and be like, I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right around the time that they implemented the TeamSpeak, the Toco VoIP, they started increasing server slots, and I think it was up to like 50 for a little bit, and then they tested like 72, and
that was chaos.
Maybe I got into Nopixel 5 or 6 times after that, and I was just like, man, I waited in queue for some days. It was 8-hour tsunamis, so three resets a day. I couldn't do it. I gave up. I gave up completely on Nopixel after like maybe 2 months or something like that, and getting in like anywhere between like 4 and 6 times, and I just gave up until 3.0. And I was like, you know what? I'm still whitelisted. I might as well just like give it a go. Like early 3.0. I think it was like February 8th, maybe. It was like 2 days after like the server relaunched. I was like, all right, I'll get on, make my characters again.
Yep.
It's good though. But early 2.0 was,
dude, middle to end of 2.0 is when I joined. Dude, when the servers were like 64 slots, dude, there was how does the fucking server feel more full with 64 people than with 250? I remember not being able to get away from people when it was 64 slots. And I think it was just because people like desperately wanted to role play. They were like, I have 63 other people I can role play with. A third of those are cops, right? So I'm going to make sure to be where the people are. And now
Legion Square.
Like, now the system is like with like the shops, the houses, everyone has their own kind of like thing where they can isolate themselves. And so you get people essentially running away from interactions almost, right? Not deliberately,
100%.
but the way the server is designed right now, like pulling people away from each other. And think about like when the server 3.0 first started, there was no shops, there was no hideouts. It was people doing like trash jobs because they had to get 4 other people
or
to
hunting
do it with them. Hunting.
Yeah.
Dude, hunting was so big.
Yeah.
Tessa had like gangbanging left and right. I mean, taking people downtown.
I felt a lot of guilt about hunting when I first came into Nopixel because I would wait so long to get in, but then like obviously the first thing I did was buy a car. Yeah, and then go stand alone because I had a car payment to make. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt bad about it because I would get in, and by the time I had been hunting for 4 hours so I could make my car payment, I like had no like energy to go and like seek out RP. And also it was very intimidating to me. Like for some reason, like even though like realistically everyone that you walk up to, and as long as you're not like being real weird or like offering them RP that clearly nobody would want, usually most of the time people entertain the RP that you bring to them. And it was just so scary to me. Like I was so intimidated like by like bypassing somebody who was, or passing somebody who was a seasoned RPer, because I was not. So it scared me. So like there would be days where I would get on and hunt for 4 hours and then be like, okay, I have to get off. Like I made my payment, I'm done, you know?
Yeah, I would rather be infinitely in debt, a la the Littleman,
right,
and just having fun every day than like worrying about. Dude, I get stressed out trying to like make like my good to go pass. I have it on auto draft, and I'm still like, oh, did it pay? Oh, I really hate having like payments for things. I will spend more money to buy a thing permanently just so I don't have to make payments on it, even if it's going to be cheaper over like the course of a year.
Yep.
Because I don't want to think about it. So in Nopixel, when you get like car payments, I'm like, oh fuck, I'll have a $500 car payment in Nopixel and be like, this sucks. And people
will say that like they're pretty like, unless you think of it realistically, and it's hard for people to do that because the core of it is a game, right? Like people who come in and want to do like stuff like Crim stuff, which was not my character's intent, but I still needed a car, so I bought a Glendale, right? I couldn't even afford that. Like, it is a bit unforgiving for people who don't have prio because, like, say you don't get in for a week or two, then your loan defaults, and then your character's like your character is forced to have to, you know, make ends meet with negative. My friend, he wanted to be a cop, but he kind of lost interest. His name was Conjuro. He played like a red-haired, like anime style character. Dude, he's so fucking funny, and he's such a good RPer. But the first thing that he did was went and bought like a Comet SR and had a job at Uwu. So he was forced to only work at Uwu all day, or, you know, at least, you know, and obviously he could go seek other opportunities to make money through roleplay. But, and now he doesn't even come in because he's negative $700,000 in debt. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, it's a bit unforgiving, but it's also not, because like the point of roleplay is like your choices matter.
Yeah.
And if you're going to go buy an expensive car like that, you better you better have the financial means to support it, you know?
Yeah, now that traumz has got, isn't he cute? You see his beard?
Yeah,
man?
dude, you
He's
see his
got a
beard?
big beard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I love a big beard, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I want him to like trim some of it and then like mail it to me.
Honestly, I bet he could actually do that. I bet he could, like, for tier 3 subs, he could send a beard hair.
Yeah, let's hit Patreon incentive or something. No, that's great.
Yeah, man. Yeah, actions for consequences. It's important. It's very important. And I think sometimes
That makes it more fun.
Yeah, of course. Otherwise, like, if there's no consequences, what's the point, right?
There are, you know, and you'll see that a lot in non-whitelisted servers that, you know, they try to focus on RP. Is like, there's a server that I used to play in a lot where, you know, cops just didn't want to role play with gangs because there was no consequences to be had. There was no true RP behind it. And like you were saying, like, it's like, you know, cops are crucial to criminal RP. Like, that's no secret. Like, at the surface value, you see that, but it goes deeper. It's like the RP that you serve, like, cops are some of the most patient and elastic RPers that exist, because they constantly are being forced into scenarios that they either don't want to do, right? Or that are not set up for them in favor.
Doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right. And half the time with cop RPers, they're set up for failure. You know what I'm saying? It's like when criminals have an elaborate bank plan or an elaborate heist plan, they've thought about the things that cops can do to catch them.
Yeah.
And unless things go awry, the cop has a far less chance of success or catching the W, as, you know, people would say cops always try to do.
The massive W amount that cops get on the daily, because we're so fucking OP, because we're so good, because we got the teamwork, we got the numbers, we got the juice, baby.
Yeah, there it is.
I'm not even a cop anymore. Why am I fucking?
Yeah,
because I'm right here.
But no,
right here, I'm a cop. Right here, baby.
No, absolutely, and I'm sure you guys both know. It's like being a cop. Like, I've only seen it from the criminal perspective, but I've grown to understand it. It's like, you give what you get. And like, my rule with RP is give more than you take. And if you follow that philosophy, you're going to have a good interaction with these people, because yes, like, to me, it's always been so weird when like a criminal gets away with 30 banks and then they get caught on one and they're just fucking mad. Like, so mad. It's like, dude, you did 31 other banks, you know? Yeah. And circling back, I just I think it's like, okay, like the cops are really elastic as far as their RP goes. And if they like you as an RPer, no matter what you do in character, right? If cops aren't supposed to like you in character, they're not going to treat you like shit. And if they do, it's going to be funny. Yeah. Especially in Nopixel. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think it's important.
I arrested Tony Corleone once. And it was over some dumb shit like jaywalking or something, and then he punched me. I don't remember. And he was like, "Why is this happening to me? Huh? All right, why is this happening to me?" And I was like, "Have you considered that maybe bad things just happen to bad people?" And he was like, "You motherfucker."
That's great. Although I did take a fat L once on Jaxon. Like,
did you get
it was kind of funny, but I did. But it but it was kind of funny. But it was kind of funny because it opened up a whole new avenue of RP for me. And Penta has done this twice for me now, and he probably doesn't care or know that he's done it. But I got pulled over because we were at Wu Chang, and I got in my friend's car to drive because he was like going in his head or something. He was like, "Yeah, I got to put in earbuds for a second." And I was like, "All right, cool, man, I'll drive, no worries." So he switched.
It's always
and
when somebody goes AFK. It's always when somebody
dude,
goes AFK.
oh, dude, it was the worst. And what was even worse about it, it was Fingal Dan, him, and I don't know who plays the cop, but the cop basically you can coerce him to do anything. So like it was like awesome RP for me. Yeah, but it was like a one-off character with a mohawk.
We're all just starved for role play.
Yeah, but
sure. You want me to shoot my friend? Yeah, I'll shoot him.
Like, yeah, whatever, no, man. Exactly. But anyways, he pulled me over, and I had like smoked a joint to relieve stress. We were boosting or something stupid, like whatever, like earlier in the day. And I got pulled over after smoking a joint. He put 34 points on my license.
What?
Yeah. So, but what's weird about this is I was told it takes like 30 days and they just like fall off or whatever. But I was like, but Penta was like, yeah, you're going to have to, Wrangler was like, you're going to have to go to driving school. And in my head, I'm like, yes, this is the content that I want.
Get to do your driving school. I'm so mad.
Oh, that's right. You were supposed to go with me. Anyways, so I went and did driving school, and then I got the clipboard, and he was like, yeah, now you're going to have to wait for a judge. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, there's never judges around when I'm in the city. So I was like, okay, whatever.
Fucking Titus Schwinghammer, baby. They're fucking holding 17. He's fucking always there for you when you need him.
And yeah, so I was like, whatever. And then all of a sudden, like, all the points just fell off like a few days later. Like, it was really weird. I was like, I don't know what happened with that. And I think it was like right around when there was a little bit of a ban situation. So I was like, did they remove like the arrest records or something? I'm not sure. But anyways, so that fizzled out. But I did get to do the driving school RP, which was great.
Did you do it with Tessa or Patrick?
No, I did it with Patrick.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. He was funny. Yeah. But yeah, no, I got wrangled. But then I was like, at the same time, I was like, yeah, like this was an RP opportunity. Because it's not like I'm mechanically not able to drive and it's actually affecting me. Right. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I can still drive. And if anything, I get more content out of it because I'll go to jail.
You get pulled over a lot.
Right. Oh, I get pulled over so much, dude. It's bad. I'll never forget my first boost I did. My first boost I ever did was a fucking bus. Obviously, right? D class. And it was in Mirror Park. And the cops showed up for whatever fucking reason. And my immediate reaction was like, shit, I got to run. Like, they're here. So I stopped lockpicking and I just ran towards my buddy's car. And the cops were like, nah. You better finish what you've started. And I was like, all right, like, whatever. And then
we show up for the chase. We don't show up to arrest you. We're showing up for the pursuit.
Right. And that's what's funny about it is, so I'm like, fuck it. All right, I'm going to do it. And I steal the bus. And then they go, now you better wait here. And I'm like, all right. So I'm just sitting in this parking lot up in Mirror Park, just waiting. The cops left. They're like, you wait right here. They come back in 3 buses.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, and I was like, all right. And they were like, all right, now go. And of course they catch me. Right. But they just ended up letting me go. And I was like, I understand now. I was like, they wanted me to do it because they wanted the chase and they wanted the role play. Yep. And that was when my like paradigm shifted. And I was like, yeah, no character wants to go to jail for something stupid. Right. But at the same time, I was like, no, like the amount of times, almost every time I've got way lesser charges or nothing at all. Like I've literally shot someone and they've just let me go because it means I sit in there, but I have awesome RP for 45 minutes in the cell. Like to me that's worth it. Like that's what you're here for. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I've had such a good time, man.
I had a chatter ask me recently. So I showed up for a boost and they're lockpicking and I'm there. I'm like real quickly on top of them. And I show up and I was like, I'm on the megaphone. I'm like, oh, he's stealing. Just like taunting him. And the guy in my chat goes like, why did you let him lockpick it? Why didn't you just get out and like pull him out of the car or tase him or whatever? And I was like, okay, that's a pretty easy question to answer.
Right.
It's because at the end of the day, we're all playing a video game and we're just here for fun. What fun would it be if this guy started up his boost, goes off to the car. I'm literally around the corner when it goes off. The thing happens. I show up, instantly tase him out of his car, take him to jail right away, and frick up his boost. Right. I was like, that's yeah, like sure, we do role play realism, but at the same time, we're also just here to enjoy our time and have a good time. And what fun is it for that guy if he doesn't even get to drive the car he wants to boost? Right.
Right. No,
Like,
seriously.
also for me, I'm like a chronic scene extender. I can't. I almost never want scenes to end. Right. Like I always want to like keep something going. Like, on the Littlemans, I'm the kind of guy who rolled to get out of cuffs, or I'm like on my cop, I'm the kind of guy who rolled to let somebody out of cuffs.
Yeah.
It's like I'm a chronic scene extender because I just love seeing what happens, right? Like where somebody's gonna go, how creative somebody can be.
Yeah. No, I experienced that too with that night, but also there's been multiple times with Carter. Like he does the exact same thing as far as like my interactions with him. It's
Snowball's
like,
great.
yeah, dude, so great. Like we were doing an S or S plus boost. I think it was an S boost, I think. And we ended up having to, I don't know why, but one of the guys in one of the gangs that we were rolling with had his S plus boost and was using it as a getaway car. But like he was getting arrested, so like his car was about to be stolen, like impounded and gone forever. So we were like, we have to show up and we have to hold guns to the cops. Like the gang was telling me this, and I was like, I've never done this conflict RP before. So I did it, and the cops were great. Like it was really fun. It was a funny scenario. And then I thought it was over, but then like literally 20 minutes later, Carter, I was going to pick up somebody else, and he's like, I know you're going to pick up your boy. He's like, I'll tell you what, I'll let him get in the car, but if you guys get away, I won't arrest you. But it's going to be a long chase because he's a really good driver.
He's really good.
And we ended up getting away.
Trooper shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We ended up getting away, but like the whole time, like we threw a snowball at their windshield, and then I think somebody else was throwing snowballs back, like back when like the snowballs were first. Like it was just so funny. Like it was just a funny chase. And he was like letting me go pick up my friend. He let me gas up. He let me go to Benny's. It's just like he's like he just wanted the chase, and he wanted the role play that would hopefully come after it. And unfortunately, we did get away.
For the like it's just
right.
You just don't get it in a day. You'll drive around from call to call, and or you'll get in a shootout, and shootouts just gotta admit really aren't that much fun. I like interrogations or like negotiation stuff where it doesn't lead to like somebody just ending the role play with gunshots, right?
Right.
The Littlemans, we've now shot cops a couple times, but every single time there's been something to like accompany it. Like one time we actually shot chains and began like little bit of a holdout in an ammunition. Just because I think it was Boris put a hit out on chains, and we had that on Carmine.
Didn't know a bear could do that.
Yeah, well, he just kind of nodded. We're like, you want us to kill Carmine for you? And he's like, "Rrr." We're like, all right,
all right, done deal.
20,000. He's like, "Rrr." And we're like, okay, 20K. We'll collect that bounty.
Yep.
Yeah. So we got that, and like we had some story behind it, and there was a lot of like build up to. We had some like hostage negotiation that eventually led to it. Like it was very telegraphed that it was going to happen. It was very easy for the cops to win as well. It was like an easy win for them because we had no escape, and we were like stuck in like, we called it Little Alamo because we were stuck in like an ammunition building.
That's
like shooting out through the door.
So you get situations like that on like the Littleman. So like as far as like prolonging RP goes on cop, like say you are in a situation where you do get the opportunity to like interrogate somebody, how often and like how do you deal with situations where like you can tell someone is clearly not interested in continuing the RP? Like just send me away people. Like does that kind of like break your heart, especially after, because like some of this stuff is like truly long burn. Like if you're getting somebody in an interrogation, it's either a long chase or a long investigation or something. Like how do you combat that?
I think one thing that I've always like would pride myself on with Moosebeard is I like to think of him as a bit of a chameleon.
Okay.
He's kind of like he can mold himself to any situation. So whether it's like SBS or serious, like he can like tone himself down to what's needed, and
Right.
say if somebody is being a little bit, like, you can tell they're upset, like they got arrested or they're obviously getting
Right.
like fricked over, like whatever's happening. I feel like I'm always very understanding. Like I'll give them a time to vent and I'll tell them like why this is happening or like what's happening, and very, very calmly explain to them. And just like also at the same time, um, what's the word for like, I don't know why I'm blanking on this right now. Where I'll relate to them in a sense.
Yeah.
I'll
It's
be
like,
like,
it's like
okay,
sympathize, but like
yes,
sympathize, but like also like in a discouraging or non-discouraging way.
right. Where,
Yeah.
I'll be like, okay, yeah, man, like I get where you're coming from. Like, I'm sorry that happened to you or whatever, like whatever made you upset. Like really try to, because again, like one of my biggest things on Nopixel has always been making sure that like people are having a good time.
Right.
And like you can fuck someone over and still make sure they're having a good time. Right.
Oh,
Like,
100%. Yeah.
when you got 34 points on your license, right? Like I'm sure they knew you were probably having a good time, but meanwhile you're role playing like, what the hell? Why am I getting all this stuff? Right. Like,
Yeah.
you're role playing against it, but you're having a good time while doing it. And I think that's so important because people, it just boils down to the end of the day, we're all playing a video game and we're all here to
Right.
enjoy ourselves, and we're not here to like hate each other or go against each other or anything like that. My friend Kinky Hobo, who plays Max Muller, as well as like a bunch of other really good characters on the server, he impressed me one time so much. We had this situation with this guy on the Littlemans. He ended up robbing us and like shooting us, and I can't remember why he got shot or arrested. No, the cops showed up and arrested him, and we spun this tale that like it was him. We were going to be buying guns from him. We'd already bought guns from him. Like he had guns in his apartment, and we were like, they were ready to like raid him based on what we were telling them. Right. Like we were just spinning this tale.
Yeah.
And this guy became very, very emotional in the cells, like because he was being a dick to Max Muller, and Muller started like being a dick right back. Like he was returning it back at him, and like suddenly it went from being like this guy just like being like mad to him being like very emotional, and he was just like really upset, and like he was kind of terrified because he had now upset the Littlemans and he was about to go to prison with us at the exact same time.
Right.
And he's like, man, they're just going to kick the shit out of me in prison over and over. And like, and like, it was affecting him outside of his character. Like, I think he actually like had like a little bit of a breakdown. And on Kinky Hobo's stream, he muted his stream and he talked to this guy and just like asked him like, dude, are you okay? Like, is everything okay? Like, what's up? Calmly explained to him like what was happening. I think he even let him like go on parole so that he didn't have to go to prison with us.
Yeah.
And then I believe somebody came into my chat and said like, I don't think that guy is like having a good time right now. And so I reached out to Ethan Kinky Obo and I was like, is everything okay with him? Like, is he all right? He's like, yeah. He's like a little bit worried about this, et cetera, et cetera. And so I was like, okay, you know what? That's fine. We'll just drop everything. Like, we're not going to pursue this guy. We're not going to go after him. We're not going to like frick with him anymore. And to me, that was such like a moment of, yes, we had this conflict between characters, but we're all humans and we're all like out for each other. We're all part of the same community. And so I don't want to like ruin your day with what this like role play that we originally thought was just kind of fun.
Right.
You know?
I don't think someone getting emotional like that necessarily makes them a bad RPer either. Like, even if it does go outside, it is so easy to get incredibly emotionally invested in your character. Like some people are spending like 12 hours a day,
more,
like even more, like trying to achieve certain goals. Yeah. Seriously, trying to achieve certain goals. And it can hurt when things don't go the right way. And that's why like what makes role play a lot easier is just being able to adapt and just be like, okay, yeah. And then there's absolutely nothing wrong, especially if you know the RPers that you're RPing with. If something is happening where it's just like you're not comfortable with it, or it's actually truly upsetting you, 9 times out of 10, I feel like I could slide into some DMs and just be like, hey man, like listen, like this is not gonna be good, And there was obviously some controversy about that in the past because with certain cops like holding criminals for so long and then just like locking them in a room and like it actually being not good for their livelihood, right? Because it was like, yeah, these streamers need content, like this is their livelihood. And I think that having that sort of attitude when approaching RP is important, and then also understanding when someone is uncomfortable, obviously within reason. Like if they're just getting arrested and they're just like, no, fuck this, I'm pissed, I'm getting arrested.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different story. But yeah, no, it's honorable that he took the time to actually chat with this guy and at least calm him down and try and clear the air. You know,
it was just one of those moments that like really showed that like we're part of a community of people that really care about each other. Might not seem that way all the time, but there's a lot of really good people. I think very recently as well, the community has really shown like how good we are taking care of our own and whatnot.
Yeah.
When it comes out that certain people are not good people, like they're just, that's it. They're just out, like, get out of our community. We don't need you here. We don't want you here.
Yeah. You know, it's happened like 5 times in the past like 60 days.
Yeah.
And pretty much every time it's just been like clear cut, like, yeah, like it's not something that we want in the community, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So,
I think,
and it's important.
Strangely enough, when you take apart like all of the mechanics of the server and you just boil it down to like role play and how people treat each other, I think Nopixel is like the ideal like community for how we should be living. Like we are so accepting of like LGBTQ plus. We're so accepting of all different types of lifestyles, all different kinds of people. You know, a lot of the time someone will be like, hey, I'm this type of person, right? And none of us will bat an eye. Like we'll be like, yeah, okay, cool. Like nice to meet you, right? Like, and I just think that we're so accepting, and I love that about the Nopixel community.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can find that in any other community. Like it's like specifically any other gaming community. There's not a single other game where you can go where there's definitely certainly still some toxicity in the Nopixel community, but it's like it's very quickly shunned, and because of that, it like things get filtered out so fast, and it's like it's motivating for somebody who like me, like a lot of people that listen to this podcast aren't gonna have ever heard of my character, or maybe they've heard a song or something, but they've never watched me roleplay, right? And for someone like me, it's incredibly motivating to be like, okay, like as long as I'm a decent person and I'm compassionate about roleplay and compassionate about other people's situations and who they are as a person and accepting of no matter what that is, like things can't go wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like they just can't. Like it's a security blanket. And knowing just from the outside looking in, I too haven't been in Nopixel in at least a few weeks now. From the outside looking in through all the things that are happening right now, seeing how quickly things are being filtered out is incredibly motivating, because it's like, okay, like this is good, you know. And it happens with not even the hottest takes in the world or people just being terrible people and doing terrible things, but even people who bring bad RP, they're pushed out very quickly. Like, and I think that maybe that's the reason why I haven't really had a terrible experience. Like, not once have I had an experience. My character has experienced terrible things for my character, but the RP behind it is great, you know? Mm-hmm. And I mentioned Penta earlier, like everyone hates getting wrangled. Some people actually get fuming about it. It opened up more RP opportunities for me. And not only that, I was more excited. I got off that stream and off Nopixel that night so excited because I had looked back in the VOD and I was like, I spent 49 minutes with Fingal Dan and
that's great.
Penta.
That's great.
I was like, that's great. I was like, that is exactly how these interactions should go. Like, obviously, if there's no reason to drag them out, why would you, right? But I was put in a situation where it was like, yeah, like whatever cop they had with him, I forget who it was, but I could be like, all right, you're gonna grab me, and he was like, kept mentioning that it was super dark, that he didn't have a family, and I was like, I know where they are. They're at the arcade. We have to go. So the cop kept grabbing me and like putting me in a car, and like it was just this whole thing, and it was so much fun. And and then my third day in Nopixel, I had a Mike Block interaction where he cut off my legs.
Yeah, let's
And that's
go.
actually like, and a lot of people, are like, that's harsh that somebody can dictate RP like that. But I was like, no, this was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Right.
Because the first song that Jaxon wrote and released was called Roll On, because I was in a wheelchair and Mike Block cut off my fucking legs.
I think I still have one of your legs.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one of your legs. John Hydra has one of your legs. Yeah.
Dude, I haven't been giving out those in
yeah.
forever, dude. So I guess
the image for it is broken, but somebody gave it to me and it was a girl. I don't
okay,
know who it was.
that's how I know how old it was. Is because that must have been like a year ago.
Yeah.
Because when that happened, that's when, and I felt a little bit of guilt about it too, because as soon as I released the song, like Summit OOC like backed everything, and like I got like a fucking trillion Twitch followers, and then the song blew up on SoundCloud and things like that. I felt a little bit guilty for it because I was like, I don't want to do this for the OC attention. I was like, I have to do it in a way that like serves my character. So that song was when Mike Block cut off my legs, and it was like, yeah, I just moved here. Like, what the fuck is happening? And then a few days later, I got sent to jail by Silas Grimmer. So I wrote a song called "Stuck in Bolingbrook," even though I was in Bolingbrook for like 5 minutes. I was like
36 months.
Yeah,
That's
it was like the Folsom.
years.
Yeah, exactly. It was like the Folsom prison. Like, never went to prison, but wrote a song about being in prison type deal. But I was like, no, this is what I want to do. I was like, I want to write the songs that like pertain to my character. And like when I released Roll On, not only did it get me a ton of OC attention, which was something that my Twitch channel had never seen, but the character development because of that song was like rapid fire, and I didn't have to do anything. Like it was like Wu Chang's lawyer was like, "Hey, I need to introduce you to Mr. K," and then I met up with him at the casino, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm signing you, and there's nothing you can do about it," type deal. And I was like, "All right, cool." So then I'm in the Wu Chang arc.
Music.
Yeah. So you want to make music, huh? So he signed me to Wu Chang, and then like that was one of the best things for me because before that I was just role playing with my one or two other friends that were from that old server I was talking about that could, if we ever could get in at the same time. So when that happened, it introduced me to Easy and
I love bars. We stand bars.
Yeah,
I'm
and like
message him and tell him you said hi.
Oh, please do. And it opened up a lot of doors for me. And like that's when I actually started getting like comfortable with like role playing, and like knowing somebody was a big streamer was like a curse, because like I would avoid them like the plague because I didn't want to like let them down. And at the time, feel guilty for this, was like, all right, like one of the first things I did like second week of Nopixel was like, all right, how do I try and earn prio? That was like my main thing. And I was like, it's not going to happen because music, which is funny because it happened because music later on. But I was like, how can I earn prio, and how can I do it in a way super invasive? Because I was so nervous that I was going to have a bad interaction with one of these big streamers that I would just like be the person that would never be in the pool for ever being a respected role player.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was like my biggest fear. Like it actually gave me so much anxiety that some days I just didn't want to fly. I was like, it was such a weird thing for me because it's not normal for me, but being like naturally warmed up to people through the role play,
Mm-hmm.
and through like non-invasive role play, like this guy being like, yeah, I need to introduce you to Mr. K, was like a huge thing for me, because it's like, how else would I have met Mr.
K, right?
Right. No, never. And so I was like, okay, like this is nuts. And then even now, like I go on Jaxon and I look through my like contacts. I'm like, how do I have these people's contacts?
Mm-hmm.
I have like street team. I have like, I'm like,
phone if you call, they'll be like, oh, what's up, Jay?
Right.
Like,
yeah, dude, I posted an ad for one thing I really like to do, because it was just funny to me and my Twitch chat loved it, was be a casino shot caller. So, and that's actually how I met Brooke. Was like, hey, before you go spend a bunch of money at the casino, call me and I'll tell you what to bet on roulette and you'll win. And it worked like 10 times, dude. So people were like, oh, hell yeah. Maybe, but I ended up like, I'm like, negative money. I'm in debt. I'm just like trying to role play. Don't really care about anything. Right. And I go to the casino and it's Tommy T and like some of the Mandem and street team guys. And they're like, all right. And I was calling the shots for them. And all of a sudden they're just wiring me 100K at a time. Like just being like, all right, now it's your turn.
It's fun. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And it was a process that was like, or it was a situation that was like extended. because then they were like, yeah, I need you to find Carter and send us pictures of you pissing on his car. And I did. And I like, you know, like looked through my eyes and looked down with the pissing emote. And I like put a sensor bar over where my like, you know, thing would be. And I was like texting them pictures being like, I did it. And I was like, but I'm not done here. I'm going to do it on every cop's car. Like, it was just like a weird, like, not even like good for my character, but because my character saw like 300K that day, he was like, yeah, this is our new job. And, but the point of this being is like, I would never approach those people, but you'll be surprised. Like, people will call you, people will give you the time of day. And like, I don't know, it's just great, man. Like, it seems really scary. And maybe this is just a me thing. You guys have been doing roleplay for a lot longer, specifically on Nopixel, but a lot of those fears were overcome with the fact that like, hey, all you have to do is your best. Like, all you have to do is give sufficient RP. If you walk up and you're like, hey, Mr. K, what's up, dude? Like, he's not going to sit there and talk to you for 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if you put your whole RP mentality into it and you think of ways that you can develop both sides of the story, it's like mutually beneficial, and it's just great. And I've had so much fun doing that. You know, but sorry, I went on a long tangent.
No, that's fine. I was just listening. Yeah, I was thinking about pacing. Is what I was thinking about while you're talking. Is like matching the pace of the people that you're around. I think that there's an art to that, right?
Yeah,
we were talking about how like you can't have a 20-minute conversation with Mr. K. He's just it's
right.
not gonna, unless that's what he wants to happen. It's not gonna happen.
Right. It's not gonna happen. Yeah.
And then you have to decide if you're okay with a 20-minute conversation, because you can make that conversation end too.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody really has power in Nopixel until they up like the threat level, right?
Right.
We're all able to kind of do what we want and like collaborate. I think people forget that sometimes. I think they think like, this guy has a gun on me, I can't roleplay anymore. That's not true.
Right.
You have to find the pace that every person is working with, and then work on it. I talked my way out of a wrangling on Pyro. I got pulled over by Wrangler for going like 3 miles over the speed limit.
Of course.
I had 3 Molotovs in my car.
Yep.
And even though they were like broken, there's no shot Wrangler lets me get away with that, right? But for the character, they're like the ashes of his dead like friends or something.
Right.
And so I just roleplayed on this character that can barely speak. Yeah. Right? That somehow I roleplayed my way out of getting wrangled just by like working at the pace that I maybe have some advantage in that I've been a cop before and I've been around, you know, Wrangler a lot. And so I know what pace that guy likes to work at. And I know kind of like, I started flirting with him on this like sort of androgynous, you know, weird character, and made him super uncomfortable. And it was so funny. And then he was trying to leave, and I was like, oh, come on. And he's like, I gotta go. Someone's getting shot.
Yeah. And he leaves, and he's like, what the fuck?
And he's real quick. He's like, real quick, can I look in your car? I was like, oh, you want to move into the car? Oh, you want to go in the back seat? And he's like, no, I gotta go.
Yep. I'm outie. Yeah.
Also, real quick pro tip for everybody listening, okay? If you get stopped in a traffic stop and you get out of your car, lock your car.
Yep.
Just lock 100%. Your car. This is in real life.
There we go.
In real life.
Yeah.
If you
and also, meta that
too. In roleplay too, I mean, do it. But in real life, lock your fucking car if you have to get out of your car at a traffic stop.
Yeah. So they don't search that? Is that what it is? Oh, all right. I got see,
because a cop is allowed to open your car door, but they're not allowed to unlock it.
Ah, okay. See, I have nothing to hide. I'm like, I made jokes about like we were talking about like being high earlier. I actually don't smoke. It makes me like too stupid.
This guy doesn't smoke. What a loser.
Yeah, what a loser. Am I still allowed at this table?
No.
Just wondering. Goodbye. Can I sit with you guys?
No, you can stand.
I can't either. I get anxiety now.
Yeah, it's bad. But
so when I was in high school, it was fine. But now I can feel my heart beating and shit. And I'm like,
I've never. Okay, to be fair, I've never smoked weed once in my life.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Don't worry about it.
Fair enough. I was hesitant about bringing it up because I didn't want to like put anybody on the spot. But now I
never smoked weed a single time.
Can I tell you guys about a really big L scenario? And by L scenario, I mean
we
a time that I actually
we don't have time for the story of your life, dude. I don't.
Oh, fuck, man. Fuck, man. Damn, yeah. I'm just mistakes left and right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right.
I'm just projecting.
So besides the
350, I'm gonna need EMS on my position. This man's having a cardiac arrest.
Send the burn unit.
I made a really big bad decision in role playing once.
Just once.
And just like it was like when I was fresh to Nopixel.
Okay.
Did
you promise
and
somebody?
you know what's that?
Promise somebody?
I didn't. No, it wasn't role play bad manners. It was more just like, I mean, I guess it was role play bad manners, but let me explain first, I guess. So it's hard to explain, but so within like first like 2 days, I think it was like the day after I got the wheelchair. So like day 4 or something in Nopixel. It was back when Mel was still around, and I'm only telling this story because I'm really proud of it, how it ended, but not proud of what I did. So he was I guess like the server wipe was about to happen. And again, I didn't know anything about server wipe. I was so stupid, man. I had to just connect when I could and whatever. And obviously like, it was Swagger Souls, Mel, me, and like a few other people. Mm-hmm. And so obviously just chaos. It's just like, whatever. But, so Mel like attacked me in my wheelchair to steal my wheelchair. Classic. So I'm like crawling on the ground. I learned how to do the crawl.
Mm-hmm.
And then because it was like off the success of like roll on, I was like, yeah, I need a security guy, and we like went this like whole like weird cringe route. But so Mel kicked me out of my wheelchair. So my friend downed him, and I guess it was like 2 minutes before storm, and I pocket wiped Mel.
Melbert Rickenbacker?
I did. And this is part of where the anxiety from like letting down big creators came from. Because
Spaceboy will let you know too.
He didn't let me know. I found out for myself.
Oh no.
Because somebody sent me a clip of him being like, I haven't been in Nopixel for 3 months, and this is the shit I come back to, getting pocket wiped. By pocket wiped, I think I took a bunch of shoes. He had like a million fucking shoes on him. I took a bunch of shoes, but I did take brass knuckles, and I think that's where the problem was.
Fine, get over it.
So, but the thing is, I understood because it was like 2 minutes before storm. Like literally, like I took them, and then like by the time I was out of his pockets, it was like 30 seconds, and then the wipe happened. And I was like, I felt like it was a little like bad manners afterwards, and I was like, So I was like, I went and I looked at his point of view, and he was not happy about it. Like it, like he went on like a kind of a little rant, like this is the condition of Nopixel, like blah, this is doo doo, and like obviously his chat's like grinder. That hurt. I'm not gonna lie, and for me, I was like, okay, and not only I actually felt that way before watching the clips. So what I had done is, when I got back in over the next wipe, miraculously, I had texted because I didn't have Mel's number. I didn't know who he was. That's why I was like, I'm gonna pocket wipe this asshole that just tried to down me out of my wheelchair. Fuck this guy, right?
Probably not the ultimate roleplay move, but yeah, I hear you.
Right, exactly, and that was my point. But so I had texted Ace Hole, who was Swagger Souls' he was on the server for like maybe a week, and I was like, hey man, I was like, your friend who we beat up because he helped for some reason, I don't know, it was weird. I was like, your friend, I took some of his stuff, and I want to talk to him and give it back. And this I had texted him that before I had actually watched the clip, because it was like I didn't see the clip until later. I had felt guilt about it, and then I felt real guilt about it when I saw the clip, and I was like, fuck. So something got set up, and I ended up meeting up with Mel, and it turned into this whole role play scenario where like he made me like jump out of a car midair, and like he was like, you're gonna jump right now. And I was like, right now, and he's like, nope. Right now. And then we're in the middle of the air, and I jump out, and I somehow land and I'm alive. And then he gives me his number, and then like everything's cool. And I was like, damn, like I actually felt really bad about that, because I was like, first of all, I didn't realize the storm was happening. But also just like I didn't need those things. Like it was like I could have made it into a funny role play scenario. And I understand how it was frustrating. And that was where the anxiety of like never letting down like a big streamer, or more importantly, a respected RPer came from. And I was like, fuck, like I fucked up. Like anybody in his chat, there was like 11,000 people watching or like something. I was like, anybody in his chat that saw what I did probably now sees me as like, you know, the shitty pocket wiper grinder.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's not me at all.
Here's the thing about roleplay viewers is they don't matter.
That's fair.
They don't matter.
Traumz, do you want to say that? Do you want to say all your viewers don't matter?
Yes.
Can you say it loud and clear?
Yes.
No, I get what you're saying though.
They when here's the thing, okay? I've got big feelings about this. You felt bad about a thing and you were going to course correct, right? You were going to try to like reach out to Mel and say in a role play like, hey, you know, I did this and it didn't feel great. So if you want to take revenge or take punishment, I want to make things right.
Right.
But then all these fucking over involved like viewers, I'm just gonna call them viewers, jump over and like double down and make you feel really bad about a thing you already felt weird about.
Yeah.
Now when you go to course correct, now it's no longer you going like, that didn't feel like a great role play direction. Now it's you succumbing to the masses, right? Whether you want it to be true or not, it is, right?
Right.
And now you're going back, and now you're not just a pocket wiping grinder. Now you're a clout chaser who's, you know, trying to go make friends with Mel, and you just want to be on Mel's stream, you know?
Right.
And there's no fucking winning. So when I say they don't matter, I mean the people that are not enjoyers of the stream, the people that are criticizers and like the mob, they don't fucking matter.
Yeah.
And they never will.
Right. They call them frogs, the people that like
I'm sending the frogs.
Yeah. But yeah, I felt really bad about that one. I've actually never talked about it. I like tried to like sweep it under the rug because I was hoping that his viewers would never. It was only a few that came in and were like, "Bruh," like. But
to be clear, real quick, obviously the audience that cares about roleplay and enjoys the entertainment and understands that we're all playing a fucking video game and that we're having a good time and entertaining and like maybe trying to make a living or just trying to make people laugh. Of course you matter. Of course, you being there makes us able to do this. The people listening to this podcast right now, the people that watch us stream, the people that we know, like the lives and stories of course they matter. Of course, they're half of the reason why we're able to do this. The other half being like the passion and the desire to do the thing.
Right.
But the people that only want to scream and yell and baby rage because they didn't like how you interacted with their streamer, they'll never matter. All they are is a detriment and a weight that you have to learn as a streamer, as a content creator, how to ignore, right?
Yeah.
Like
no, 100%.
You're driving on a road, right? And there's good road, and then there's potholes, and you have to learn how to avoid the potholes, and that's all those people are.
Right. Yeah. No, 100%. Traumz, do you have any thoughts on this? Sorry, we kind of just went on forever.
No, I was what I was thinking about was this very similar situation I had to your Mel situation, but it involved JDot. Actually.
Okay.
It was early 3.0. We're outside Burger Shot, and I already had some beef with him over something. We were beefing for whatever reason. He was going to pull out a Burger Shot, and I pulled out my car in front of his. And then he kind of tapped it, and I pulled back in, and I screamed like, "Oh, sorry!" And then he went to pull out again, and I did the same thing again. This time, like really on purpose, right? And he was mad, so he fucking goes back and he parks, and he's like walking around with a gun in his hand or something like that. And I just kind of like me and my friends, we all kind of like scramble, and then he goes over and he starts holding up Spoonerism, playing his character Harry. He starts holding up Harry parts. And starts robbing Harry. And so all I have with me is a knife. And I come back around the corner and I see Harry being robbed. And I run up and I get into like the stabbing animation. I'm like, don't frick with my friends, right? And then I stab him in the back. What I didn't realize was he was in the robbing animation.
Yeah, in the pockets, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't even in the pockets yet. He was doing the like, the like
loading.
Holding the...
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
So it wasn't. Oh, that's even worse.
He hadn't made it in yet, so he couldn't even pull a weapon fast enough to like defend himself. And I felt really bad. I still feel bad. In fact, I hung out with him like a year later on VR chat, and I was like, dude, I still feel bad about that. Like, I didn't mean it at all, man. I didn't even. I wasn't even.
Were you like, hey, can you meet me in this VR chat lobby? We need.
No, we just like talked about it like a year later. I was actually so he was playing Miles Landon at the time, and I didn't even know it was him. Like I knew he played like Drew from the GSF and whatnot, but I didn't know he played Miles.
Oh, that's
as
who that
well.
is.
Yeah, it's J Dot.
Yeah, Jay.
And so we were hanging out in VR chat, and I was like, "Wait, you're Miles?" He's like, "Yeah, Miles Landon, remember?" And I was like, "Yeah, I remember. You ocean dumped me after I stabbed you."
Yep. Yeah.
Because I even called. I stayed behind. I called the ambulance. I stayed behind with him, like
Yeah.
hung around and shit. Like I was ready to accept like a punishment for stabbing this guy, but it wasn't until like after the stream I realized like, oh shit. Like I caught this guy in an animation, and I probably shouldn't have just stabbed him. I probably should have just like held him up with a knife or something, right? Made something out of it.
Yeah.
But I think that's all part of like learning. Like with your Mel thing, you learned, you know, with like you learn you were obviously understanding that what you did was like not great, but
right.
like we all just learn and get better.
Yeah, and I think for me it hurt a lot worse because like for me, like, you know, like the server shut off and then I was like, okay, like
A lot of
it's
people
over.
Go.
Yeah, a lot of people
You know?
will use that as a get out of jail free card essentially, but that's not what you're doing. You just screw
Right.
up. But
Right.
even-
And it was more so like I couldn't remedy it instantly. And not only that, I felt guilty about it the second that it happened. And then there was uncertainty of whether or not I'd even be able to get in the next wipe. So I was like, what if he was about to go use those for something? Like he was like, I guarantee you right now, if I went to Alta Street Apartments and just started fighting everybody 2 minutes before a wipe, nobody's going to wipe my pockets. It's not going to happen. And if they did, they're a dickhead. You know what I'm saying? And I was that guy. And then now I'm like, okay, now the server's reset. And if I don't get in, he's going to have to go in and whatever arc he had going where he needed brass knuckles, which I didn't know Mel at the time. So maybe there wasn't an arc. I don't know.
just Mel things.
Yeah, just, you know, all the Mel things that he had planned could have potentially be fucked up over somebody robbing their pockets for being kicked in a wheelchair. Like, it's just dumb. You know, like I wasn't thinking, yes, I thought it was funny, but it was like, it wasn't main character syndrome, but it was like, oh my God, you kicked me. So now I'm going to kick you, you know? And a good example is like, I've had people like in conflict situations, like they'll hold out a knife and instead of actually stabbing me and causing actual, you know, damage to my character, they'll do like slash me, like poke stomach and blood comes out or something, you know? And it's like, then the RP is able to continue because the second that somebody's down or the server restarts, things change.
Oh yeah.
You know? And I think with your circumstance where, you know, with the animation stuff, it's good that you stuck around because the, you know, the longevity of the scenario would have not carried out. Like if you had just stabbed him, killed him, pocket wiped him, and then ran away, like you'd probably feel a lot worse about that. You know? So I think you did the right thing. And you're right. It's like it's all learning stuff. And that was like a really big tipping moment for me. And like I don't have a whole lot of conflict RP on Jaxon. Like that's just not really who he is as a character. It's more like a social chameleon thing, like you know, hanging out with gang members. Like I've been hanging out with I had been hanging out with like the Just Us guys for a while because they're just fun to do stuff with. And like there's no remorse. It's like, okay, hey Jaxon, you have a gun, right? It's like, yeah. He's like, okay, cool. We have to go hold up these two cops. And I'm like, you know, like but you know, but that's one of the coolest parts for me is being able to do that stuff. And I felt bad doing it. I was like, I'm holding a gun at these cops. Like, are they gonna get mad? Because like my experiences with like playing on non-whitelisted servers, it's like bad manners to take the only cops, you know, that are on the scene and be like, yeah, like you need to do this or else we're gonna kill you. And it's like, this seems like a bit like, you know, like deciding their fate. But they were open to like kind of anything. It was funny. Like they were like jumping in the water to get away. It was just really funny. Like I was just like, okay, yeah, this is good. And as long as it's mutually beneficial to some extent, like obviously the situation's gonna weigh one way or the other as far as like benefits go, but just make it fun, man.
Yeah. And
then when I did that and I was like, oh my God, I can have fun and have conflict with police. Damn. You know, like,
yeah, kind of in that same vein, like with Mel, as somebody who in 2.0 sort of, I think Mel appreciated, I started a conflict with Mel in a time when Mel was sort of like king of the city. Nobody would fuck with Mel. He didn't get conflict. So when I brought Beverly in to have big conflict with Mel, dude, he was into it. It was super fun.
Yeah.
And like, so let's say you pocket wipe him, right? And not really pocket wipe him, but you take all his shoes and his brass knucks, right?
Right.
You take 30 shoes and brass knuckles, and you go, hey Mel, these are mine now, and you're never gonna get them back, and I'm gonna keep them on me all day, every day, because they're mine and not yours. What are you gonna do about it? And then the tsunami hits. Now he's not, this guy's a scumbag.
Yeah.
Now he's like, oh, this motherfucker, you know?
Yeah. I think now thinking back, that like would have been like setting it up for further, especially because Mel is definitely going to kill me. Like,
of course,
I didn't even have my gun license. Like, nothing, you know,
it doesn't
like
matter.
nothing.
You could have a tank. Mel is going to kill you.
Oh, 100%. And he'll do it in a really creative way. And he did. So like to me, it's like, okay, like someone like I gained so much respect, like for Spaceboy and all, and I, you know, I don't want to like gas him up too hard, but Spaceboy showed me the side of like, hey, like he probably didn't care about it nearly as much as I did, because like it's brass knucks, whatever. Like people will give Mel stuff all day.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like, damn, like I really fucked up. Is Mel's character gonna hate my character forever? And is Spaceboy thinking of me in a way as a role player where he just will like avoid me? I was like, because I don't want that. I was like, I wanna be in a scenario where I have you know, the full sandbox opportunity to RP with whoever and have it not be skewed by me doing dumb shit and pissing people off. So I was like, okay, like I'm gonna go for this. So I think I texted or called him or whatever, and he was like, yeah, meet me here. And then like it turned into this whole scenario. It was like 30 minutes, 40 minutes long. And I was like, okay, like I feel so much better about this now. And not only that, like because of my obsession with like what people thought about me, you know, in the chat back then, I did go back and watch his VOD, and people were laughing. They thought it was great.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, like I feel so much better about this now. And I realized that's not a good way to, you know, gauge your quality of role play, is looking at what other people say, because it's just not. Like, everyone's always going to be mad at whatever you do if it's not for their streamer.
And you're never going to be able to perceive things from how they're perceiving them, right? You can only look at it from yourself, and we tend to be more hypercritical towards ourselves.
Right.
Like you would,
no, 100%.
You would tell somebody else, like, dude, don't worry. I didn't even think twice about it. Over something that you would like chew on for days and feel miserable about to yourself. Right. It's just how it is. Dude, this has been a really, really good conversation. It's been a really good podcast. Thank you so much, man. I'd love to keep going and talk more. I know traumz has got some stuff he's got to get going to do. We've been going for a little while now.
Yes, we have.
This podcast is sponsored by Denny's.
Nope.
This podcast is sponsored by a Grand Slam.
Can we sponsor by water?
Denny's. This podcast is sponsored by the Jetsons. This podcast is sponsored by the future.
We can go. Okay, yeah.
There we go. All the other things I said were wrong.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, the Jetsons. I'm sure we'll get lots of banknotes.
Anything before we wrap up here?
Just wanted to thank you guys for bringing me on the podcast. Like I said, I think I guess it seems like we may have all interacted in some form or fashion in RP in the past, but I'm just grateful for the opportunity, because I'm a small fish and I really, really enjoy it. I do. So I appreciate you guys a lot, man. How many small fish
have a platinum record, brother?
Well, I'm talking about RP, okay?
So what I would like to say is keep doing what you're doing, because one of the most important things about doing what we do, and honestly, in my opinion, about like being alive and being a human, is
pretty important.
Something that is going to exist beyond us. And with music, with art, with anything that is like in the creative space, especially when it comes to like Nopixel, our community, all that, creating something that isn't just the role play you do every day is so important, because it's what we're going to be remembered by. It's what's going to exist beyond us. It's what exists beyond your one day, your one stream, your one role play session, and will continue on for the foreseeable future, right? So I think people like you who create something like that, it's very important. That's what we need.
Right on. Thank you. I'm gonna keep trying my hardest. I'm not
you
going to
can do.
elaborate
All
anymore.
you can do.
You got this, brother. I love you.
Any, do you wanna
I
shout
love you
your-
too, bro.
Your Spotify, your Twitter, TikTok. What are you working on these days?
Honestly, everything is just Luke Diamond. Diamond is spelled without the A. Dimond. Obviously, Luke is Luke. But
Luke Dimmadale Dimmadome.
Dimmadale. There we go. But yeah, you can check me out on pretty much anywhere on that. I'm kind of doing just like a whole mess of things right now. Like I love content creation as a whole. I love music as a whole. And recently I've done the beer stuff because I love beer too. But you know, but yeah, no. Again, I really appreciate you guys having me on, and it's been super insightful and helpful and entertaining in many ways. I don't think I've ever been in a chat where I've been able to like hypercritically talk about like role play. You know, at like, you know, as corny as it is, like the premier point of role play as far as GTA goes is Nopixel. So I haven't really ever done this. So I appreciate it, guys, a lot.
I think we all love roleplay a lot, and Nopixel is the place that lets us have the highest tier of roleplay. And some people will get, you know, annoyed to be like, it's just Nopixel, but it's, as much as some people say it's a content server, it is where else are you gonna get better roleplay? It's gonna be few and far between.
Yeah, I promise you, you're not. Yeah.
So,
but
thanks, man.
Yeah,
thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it,
you're
guys.
a gem. Hopefully we see you on the server a little more.
Absolutely. Would love to.
Make a clip. Make people clip his stuff. Send it in. All right.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yespixel, episode 31.